It's been a while, and the system here is like I said, I've to figure it out. The system here is all kinds of backwards, so we're gonna have some. It's gonna be wet and wild. And Tim, how you doing? How you been? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while there. What's it, like a month since we've done one of these?
2 3 weeks, I think.
Two, three
couple. So I spent the last 2 weeks. So today is Sunday. Let's check the computer. August 10th. Last Sunday was like my getaway day from something called the World Board Gaming Championships, where I spent 9 days at Seven Springs Resort just playing board games. And then prior to that, did we do a show before I left? So that I don't remember because it's been a while.
I don't think we did.
We took another like vacation day.
Yeah.
So we're back from vacation.
You're back.
So,
I've only been sitting in this chair, and every Sunday or Saturday I was like, Max. No,
I'm waiting
this week either.
Waiting for the show to start.
That's why I'm unshaven. Like my hair's all.
Wow.
Like, it's like in Castaway when the movie jumps 3 years and Tom Hanks suddenly is like super skinny and like he's talking to a volleyball and spearing fish like a pro.
What have you been talking to?
What's that?
What have you been talking to?
A volleyball. My friend over here.
Oh, that's good. Do they have anything to say? Show related, or
it's
hear
been
from
quite
them later when we draft.
You mean you have not been watching my podcast, Hair and Volleyball?
I missed it.
I don't even think my phone's been on. I've just been like talking to myself. I'm not recording it.
There you go. Well, I don't know if you know, today's a special day.
Okay.
Do you know what
other than being
is?
the Sabbath?
Other than being the Sabbath. In addition to August 10th, 2024, this happened.
What? It's our podcast anniversary?
1 year from we actually started this. So I went back and I don't think I've ever watched, I don't go back and do film of, where we went wrong or what we did right. I remember picking the Cincinnati Bengals to win 15 games. I don't need to see that again.
Yeah, I remember that mustache.
But I watched the YouTube video, and my YouTube has a built-in AI feature where you can watch a video and it'll transcribe an essay for you. So do you want to hear what AI thinks about our pilot episode?
Yes.
Of course you do. So this is their essay. So they write it as such. In the vibrant world of food and sports, the YouTube series Soup and Meatballs offers a unique blend of humor, nostalgia, and insightful discussions. Hosted by Tim and Max, the show dives into a variety of topics, from personal anecdotes to sports debates, all while maintaining a lighthearted atmosphere. Tim and Max showcase a dynamic camaraderie, drawing from their shared experiences from high school media classes to their current endeavors in the realm of online content creation. Their banter highlights not only their respective sports affiliations, but also their shared history, allowing viewers to connect with them on a personal level. With Tim as a Red Sox fan and Max as a Yankees enthusiast, their contrasting perspectives on sports foster engaging discussions. And then it talks about my love of meatballs and Cool Ranch Doritos and your penchant for pizza and peanut butter. I don't remember that part, but
we listed our favorite foods.
Yeah. Conclusion: Soup and Meatballs serves as a delightful intersection of food and sports where humor and nostalgia intertwine. Tim and Max's engaging dynamic, combined with their insightful commentary and playful food drafts, creates a captivating viewing experience that resonates with a diverse audience. Whether discussing their favorite athletes or indulging in culinary preferences, the hosts invite viewers to join them on this enjoyable journey, celebrating the best of both worlds. So that's great, I think.
It sounds like AI thinks we have a cooking show where we're like, what do you think the Bears will do this year? All right, so our brajol's just about done.
we could probably do that. Like, I'm sure there's a cooking show that does that. So like, I don't
there
watch
has
a lot
to
of
be.
cooking shows, but like in the world of what we do here on the interwebs, sure, I guess why not? But I didn't watch enough of it. I wonder if we ever got really deep into the meaning of the name of the show, which really there isn't like a deep meaning, I don't think. But it's our love of culinary meatballs and peanut butter, I guess.
We like to eat.
Shocking, right?
Yes. And
So
we should let people know that we did meet for lunch yesterday,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you
So
did in fact get meatballs.
we're out of the house for a little bit. Yeah, I had meatballs for lunch, and then for dinner we went to Mario's, and I did not get meatballs there because the one day we went and it wasn't busy. Like there was like two tables, us and another table. So I told the waiter, who was a former student of mine, I said, honestly, just tell him to make something, whatever he wants. I don't care. I'll eat it.
Chef's choice, brave man.
And well, he came out with this like sausage, peppers, onions, and mushrooms over like a rigatoni with marinara sauce. Let me tell you something, Tim. Those peppers were like, I don't know what they did to them, but they were magical. They were so good. So last night I decided I didn't know what I was going to get, and the waitress came over, and she's Mario, or she's Nello's wife, so they both kind of run the restaurant, and we're just talking about some of like the food that I told her. We went to Finici's, and I said, they had National Meatball Day, but you guys should have National Meatball Day. Your meatballs are so much better. But as I was talking, I talked myself into getting sausage and peppers again last night. So I had a little sausage and pepper for breakfast too.
It was a missed opportunity. I did not get soup.
I didn't know if that was the plan for you. I kind of thought like it'd be funny if you did, but
I was looking. Obviously, I looked at the menu before I drove down, and I saw they had Italian wedding, and I was like, oh, that looks good. But do I want soup belly for the rest of the day? So I went with the salmon salad.
That was
caprese salad.
The guy was worried they didn't have salmon.
Yeah, which an Italian restaurant that doesn't have seafood.
Well, if they sold it all for dinner the night before, which
that's true,
would have made sense. But so I mean, you were in Hershey you went to a concert series.
Yeah, the Outlaw Music Festival, which was outstanding. It was. We had a little fun with the name Waylon Payne.
Waylon Payne, like if he's not he's a pro wrestler in a cartoon somewhere.
He should be, but sings like an angel. Gorgeous voice.
I didn't have AI make his logo. The Stray Cat. What were those guys?
They were like a country / almost gospel band out of Mobile,
Stray
Alabama.
Troubadours or something.
Well, so it was the Red Clay Strays.
The Red Clay Strays. They're the people I thought were a minor league baseball team.
That's a great name for a minor league team, by the way.
Did you see the logo I found?
I did, and I'm 100% going to make you a shirt with that logo.
Great.
And then the Turnpike Troubadours, who were also good, and then Bob Dylan, who was. A lot of people went up to use the bathroom during Bob's set, but they came back for Willie, who blew the doors off the place.
Good.
And I got a shirt.
You showed me. You got a. What does that say? It's backwards.
Willie Nelson and family.
Willie Nelson. Okay, cool deal, man.
Yeah.
What made you want to go see Willie Nelson besides that he's Willie Nelson?
Honestly, I'm more of going into it, I was more of a Dylan fan, and still am. And I'd heard that Dylan's kind of spotty live, and that held true. But it just seemed like a good opportunity to get out. It's 7 hours of live music at a high level.
It was long, man.
Yeah. They were letting people in at like 2:30, and I was in almost right as they were letting people in. I got to tour Chocolate World.
Oh, cool. There you go.
I got some free candy, but not in a van, kids.
No.
This was sanctioned by a corporation, so it's okay.
Oh, it's totally legit. Yeah, when you get off the tour, there's the little old guy or little old lady handing it. It's like trick or treat. And you get like little fun size
They make Reese's Pieces bark now.
bark.
Yeah, like like chocolate, like with
Yeah, yeah,
Reese's
yeah.
Pieces in it.
I don't know what I think about that.
I didn't have any. I was tempted to buy it, but then I was like, I'm going to be standing out in 80-degree heat holding a bag of chocolate.
No,
It's not going to be well.
So whenever we go there, I usually get like licorice, and you get the flavors that you can't get at the convenience store, like orange cream and strawberry cream. Those are like, I dig those. I'm a gummy guy.
That's what I want to do. I'm crazy about peanut butter cups. As
You
AI
like
knows
peanut
from our
butter,
first
sure.
podcast, I love peanut butter. And they have a fill your own cup peanut butter cup station.
Yeah,
I want to do that because I want to fill a peanut butter cup with like.
And it's a giant one, right?
I don't know what the options are. Yeah, it's a giant one. I think I might throw some Reese's in there or like some Heath bar filling.
My father-in-law is to peanut butter what the old man is to turkey in A Christmas Story. Like peanut butter ice cream, like by the gallon. He could swim in peanut butter and he would love it. But we got him one of those giant ones. We took Derek up. It was a snow day, so we're like, let's go to Hershey, let's go to Chocolate World, and we did the build your own bar, and like the whole graphic thing. It's over there somewhere, like the tin of it, which it's neat how they do it almost on the spot. Like you create the graphic, they print it out, bada bing, bada boom, there it is. You take it home. But the giant peanut butter cup thing, I think we got him for Christmas one year. And he probably took 5 minutes to eat the whole thing because he just loves peanut butter. You should.
The other thing that was a big draw that I would have bought was chocolate dipped animal crackers because I love animal crackers.
You know what? I don't know why they haven't done that yet. They've done the frosted.
Right.
Why not chocolate? Yeah,
we really do talk about food a lot. We have not discussed one sports thing, but we've talked about meatballs, salmon, peanut butter, animal crackers.
It's been a while since we've done one of these things. We're 13 minutes into the show. And we got to get our bearings.
This is what we catch up on. I haven't seen you in a while. What have you eaten?
I have a Chewy bar here that I'm waiting on, but
I got my customary Sunday bagel.
You got your you went to the what's that place that you go to?
Bloomin' Bagels.
Bloomin' Bagels. That's right. Right.
Sausage, egg, and cheese on a toasted garlic.
That's as good an order as you're gonna get, I suppose.
It's always served me well until my inevitable heart attack.
Well, that's hopefully there's a couple decades before that, but
play that clip when you do an in memoriam segment for me. Play that clip.
I'll try to remember.
Yeah.
We'll get into the sports part of it, so AI doesn't think this is a cooking show. So
yeah, I've got the Berjol going at 375 right now. It should be good in about 30 minutes. Let's talk some baseball.
Hey Siri, set a timer for 30 minutes. We'll starting now. So we'll remember in 30 minutes, but I don't know, maybe in a little more than 30 minutes, there's going to be like a really, really big deal in Major League Baseball. One of the big stories, and I'm going to kill her name, and I feel bad about it. Jen Paywall. Did I just say that?
Oh yeah, I've only read it as well, and I hate pronouncing people's names, but the umpire.
First female to ever umpire a Major League Baseball game. She was the first base umpire for Saturday's game in the split doubleheader with the Braves and Marlins. Then in the nightcap, she was the third base umpire. She's going to be in the spotlight today, though. The final game of the series, she's behind the plate. She's calling balls and strikes. And Tim, I'd like to say this doesn't matter, but it does from a representation standpoint. So absolutely. How important is this woman's report card going to be?
So I have a couple thoughts on this. Because first, I was scrolling through Twitter before we started this, and I saw that like a representative from Cooperstown came to get her hat from the game.
Got her hat and her uniform, yeah.
And that's absolutely appropriate. Because this is a milestone because we kind of texted about this this week, where in sports there's a certain segment of like insecure incel manosphere man babies who don't want like women or people of color to make any inroads into the game. They're the same people who didn't want Jackie Robinson to play for the Dodgers. And so I'm sure people, like a certain segment of the population, you know, is going to complain no matter how well she does calling balls and strikes.
Yeah.
But it's important that she's there, and you know that it becomes normal, because you know it'll bring little girls to the sport. It'll bring women to umpiring. That's how representation works. People don't think certain people can do things until they're allowed to do things. So it's very important.
I think from a X and O standpoint, like there's a website that I check out from time to time. They have a great Twitter account, umpirescorecards.com. And they track umpires through analytics and whatever. And they have this stat called CCAX, which is the difference between the actual correct calls made and the expected correct calls made. And the lowest currently on the season is a guy named Andy Fletcher. I don't know anything about this guy, except he's at minus 37, which doesn't sound good, which means like for every call he gets right, he gets like 37 wrong or something like that. Now, I don't know if Major League Baseball cares about this website or even knows about it, but they have a large online following. And I think it's important for Jen to have a good day behind the plate. I don't think they never have 100%. There was a big deal once, like an umpire had a perfect game, and like, cool. But usually you see umpires like around 94 to 95%, and that's like the average for them. So if she can hit 94 to 95% and not give anybody anything to complain about, that I think is a big deal. If she struggles, I think you kind of feed into that manosphere that you talked about, which I agree is not a good thing for the sport. I think for a sport that wants to grow itself, you know, you have to find people to grow to. Right?
Yeah, and you know, in every sport, it's not just baseball, but whenever there's something new, like, you know, people said this about like when Asian players started to make inroads in the '90s, where it's like, oh, like that might be good for Japanese baseball, and it's like, yeah, until Hideo Nomo was an all-star and Ichiro won Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season. You know, I mean, that's just an example from our lifetimes. You know, Jessica Mendoza in the Sunday Night Baseball booth. We were talking about that earlier this week, where I thought she was fine to good, but I was shocked to, you know, like she didn't call attention to herself. That's what I want from an announcer. You know, I don't want histrionics. You know, I like the Vin Scully model, and I thought she kind of followed that in a way where she added to the broadcast, didn't detract from it. And I was shocked, like her first season, when I saw the comments when people are like, "Get her off the air, she's terrible." Like, and so there's going to be an element of that, probably a larger element than we'd like to admit. You know, for this umpire, and she's going to have her calls more scrutinized than most, but she's going to go through this so the next person doesn't have it as bad. That's the unfortunate way that this works.
Is she lucky that she's doing Braves Marlins and not a higher profile game?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That it's two teams who aren't really in the playoff picture. You know, the stakes are relatively low.
I don't think it's a national broadcast either. It's not a TBS game or the Fox game, whoever does Sunday baseball.
Yeah, they didn't make it Sunday Night Baseball. It would be a completely unremarkable game if she were not behind the plate.
135 starts.
But also, I mean, I would like, again, just for the exposure, like for little girls to see a female umpire and be like, I would like to do that. Like, I would love to see her get a Sunday night game, you know, while they're still going before ESPN loses the contract.
We'll get to that here in a little bit, but
yeah,
beyond the umpires, and like that when I was putting our show list together, like I click on Major League Baseball news, like I was off the grid for 9 days. Like I legitimately, I don't check my phone. I don't know what's going on in the world. So I would get the final scores of the Yankees games and I'd be irritated for like 20 minutes and then I'd go play something. So like I had to kind of catch up on the world when I got back. And that was the most important thing going on. But in addition to that, like you had emailed me, the Brewers won their 70th game. They've won 8 straight games now. They've got the best record in all of Major League Baseball.
4 games ahead of the Dodgers.
And here's how, Tim, I know we're getting old. I want you to think back and remember, after a game at Coryell Stadium, what would you get?
Well, they'd give you a slice of pizza at the concession stand. You
get a slice of pizza, you get a cup of soda, right?
Yeah.
So
or a farmer's.
When I played in teener leagues, they wouldn't give you anything. So like my dad would take me down for a Jimmy Dog or something like that. But on Friday, the Brewers beat the Mets 3-2. You know what the Brewers got in their clubhouse? This is great. The team gave the players packs of Pokemon cards. And Jacob Mizorowski, who's this phenom starting pitcher, he's doing his pull, and as the report says, he drew a holographic Charizard card, which is the rarest in the Pokemon world, can sell for several $1,000s. And as goofy as this sounds, Tim, I think this is one of the reasons why Milwaukee has won 9 in a row. Not because Mizorowski pulled a Charizard card, but because they can pull out this light, goofy, let's have fun and give the players Pokemon cards after a game.
They've got a manager who carries around pancakes in his pockets. Did you see that on the Friday broadcast? Like the whatever sideline, like on-field reporter, like was like, "You eat during the game?" He's like, "Yeah." I've got a pancake going right now. And he starts chewing a pancake. He offered her a bite, and she's like, "Yeah, I think I have to." Like that's the kind of endearing stuff. That's kind of lighthearted clubhouse. That makes them a fun story.
That's great.
I
have a favorite National League team now.
We all thought, the Dodgers are going to win 110 games.
Still might, but
it's nice to see a surprise team in a small market with personality. It's exactly what baseball needs.
That's. I think you need to focus more on that pancake story. I didn't see that. Like,
I thought that's what you were going to say. They gave the players after the game post-game pocket pancakes,
like Prince. Like, yeah, after Prince beat you in basketball, what did he do? He made us pancakes. Yeah. No, man.
Lousy.
So a little tease for later in the show. We're going to talk about players we liked from other teams, but I used to have 2 favorite non-Yankees that became Yankees, so like they couldn't fit that bill. First was Ichiro, based primarily on his profanity-laden all-star rant. But the other one was Andrew McCutchen, because on the MLB Network he did the Carlton dance. That's great.
It's funny because both of those guys would be in my top 10. Ichiro, not just his style of play, but I don't know if you've ever seen the clip of him talking to Bob Costas, where Costas asks him his favorite American phrase, and it's an R-rated phrase that I can't repeat on this podcast.
That's the profanity-laden tirade that he goes on the All-Star game. I love that.
And when the only game I've ever seen in San Francisco, I made sure to buy an Andrew McCutchen, name on the back number, like a shirt, jersey, whatever they call him now. But that's because he was a Williamsport guy. He played for the Cutters.
Oh, really?
When they were still affiliated with the Pirates.
That's cool. No, that's cool. When I had something and now it's gone in the ether, and it's not coming back. I don't think it must not have been that good then. No,
we lost it to the Andre Ethier.
Weird reasons to like a player.
Sure.
But I mean, if they don't wear your laundry, the weird eccentricities of these guys. But Jacob Mizorowski getting super pumped and hyped about drawing a Charizard card. Like, can you imagine, like, the guys you played Little League Baseball with, the guys I played baseball with, like, if you talked about, like, Pokemon with them during a game?
So you remember during football when, like, after a game we would get hoagies and iced teas, and I would always
Yeah.
give you my hoagie in exchange
I
for
mean,
iced tea.
I won that trade every week.
Like, if I saw Pokemon cards in my locker, like, I'd be like, hey, Jammer, you want my Pokemon cards? I don't even know what this is. Like, here. Yeah, it's some sort of hologram. I don't know.
What I can give you a
You have an iced tea
clue
for me?
card game. Well, I can trade you. Ooh, I can trade you some snake stickers from my daughter's birthday party. Because
I would love a snake sticker. I could put it on the guitar.
Oh, I should have brought one up yesterday.
I didn't know it was an option.
Neither did I, because actually the Clue card game is covering them. So what do I know? So the other stuff around Major League Baseball. Paul Skeens on Friday allowed a career high 7 hits, but he lowered his ERA to 194, and the Pirates got him some offense and got him a win. But his record is still sub 500. He's 7-8 on the year, but he's got a WHIP of .93. And I saw an article online that suggested that the Pirates need to extend him right now, and they opined that a good extension for him right now would be 7 years, $370 million. But amazingly, people on social media came back and said that's stupid. Why would you ever extend this guy through his arbitration years? And I guess there's a semblance of economic sense to that. I mean, not that the Pirates are going to invest even post-arbitration in this guy, but 7 years, $370 million kind of felt low considering what his value is to the team and like what guys are getting on the open market now. Like,
yeah, I don't know that he would sign for that.
Well, if it's through his arbitration years and it just takes him to the point where he would be a free agent anyway, I mean, I think that would be I mean, I don't know what he's going to make in arbitration, but I don't think he's going to make $30 million. Do you?
I don't know. Like, pitchers are such a tricky investment just because of the arm injuries that are inherent with the position.
His windup or his delivery, they're going to rename it Paul Skeens surgery. Tommy John's going to get pushed to the side. Like,
yeah, Tommy John's like, whoa, bud, dial it back.
Slow down. The weird conky thing he does with his elbow, it hurts me to see.
Yeah, it's an elbow, not a slingshot.
If they offered him seven at 370, I think that's a fair deal. I don't know why he wouldn't go for something like that unless he wants to get out of Pittsburgh. The article also commented that the Yankees wanted to trade for him. Like, there's nothing the Yankees have outside of, a package of Spencer Jones, Jason Dominguez, Aaron Judge, Max Fried, Garrett Cole, and 3 other players. I don't think that. Why would you trade Skeens until you absolutely had to? And like, it's a shame that we actually think about them doing this, but that's just the way economics work, and economics in Pittsburgh especially.
I saw people trying to contextualize how special what he's doing is, and the comparison I saw come up a lot, and I think it's a really good one, is to a young Doc Gooden, where Gooden went out in '84, blew the world away, won Rookie of the Year, was even better in '85. He went 24-4 with like a 1.53 and almost 300 strikeouts, wins Cy Young, and probably he was, I believe, runner-up for MVP. He lost to Willie McGee. Skeens is at that level with what he's doing.
The only difference is Doc had an offense behind him, and Pittsburgh,
right? And then also, and certainly not making light of this, but Doc ended up having some, off the field struggles that derailed him.
Yeah, and he resurrected his career with the Yankees. I mean,
he did, yeah. But that only goes to show, when and that's not arm trouble, but investing in a player at a young age who has success that quickly is
New York in
inherently
the
risky.
80s. New York in the 80s, that
Especially
was a thing too.
in 80s New York, it was especially dicey.
So small market versus, the volcano. Another small market guy. If you want to call Seattle a small market guy, Cal Raleigh's still hitting the ball. And I did the math. He's got 44 home runs. He's got 48 games left or something like that. He's on pace for 61. I don't know whether he gets there or not. The Mariners are at the very least in the playoff hunt. So he's going to be playing important games. If I look right now, which I will, the Mariners and the Red Sox are tied for the top wild card spot, and somehow, some way, the Yankees are in the if the season were to end today, the Yankees would be in the playoffs, barely. I don't know how.
Can you ask your producer? I'm curious. What's the single season home run record for a catcher? I don't think any catchers hit 50. But I know Piazza had a 40 home run season.
Salvador Perez, 48.
Who was it?
Salvador Perez from Kansas City in 2021. The previous record was Johnny Bench. I would have guessed Mike Piazza too.
Yeah, I know, because Bench hit close to. He was like 370 for his career. He had some pop. I would have thought Piazza though. But yeah,
Mike Piazza's all-time high was with the Dodgers and the Mets, either 97 or 99. He hit 40 in each of those. And in 97, he was runner-up for MVP.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Larry Walker took home the MVP there.
I mean, Dumper's gonna break that record. He's unless something unforeseen happens, he's gonna be in the 50s, and it'll be fun to see him make a run into the 60s.
Yeah. The way I look at it, I would rather see him. I hope he gets either 74 or 60. It's an absolutely meaningless note in history that Aaron Judge has the most home runs in American League history, but it's still kind of neat that he has the most home runs in American League history. So you either break the whole thing or just hit 60 and call it a day.
So, I mean, do you feel like Cal Raleigh's the AL MVP? Judge was injured there, and the Mariners are hot.
Judge's injury hurt him, and the fact that his batting average came so far down. Like we were kind of joking half-heartedly back in June. When do we start talking about him making a run at 400? He's down to 339 right now. Had he hit had he not gotten hurt, had he hit around 360, 370, and the Yankees are still in the playoff hunt. I don't think it would have been close. I think it would have been judged by a mile. I think it's closer now.
And I think
you'll still see the judge votes come in. The stretch run will have a big say in that.
I also feel like voter exhaustion is a real thing, where when you win a couple MVPs and voters are like, all right, let's spread the love a little bit.
I think Raleigh's a good story for that.
I think we saw that, certainly in the NBA with Jordan and LeBron, where they win a few MVPs and probably could have won 2 or 3 more in their careers. I think people voting for AL MVP might be like, all right, Judge has multiple MVPs, including unanimous. Cal Raleigh's such a fun story and a very deserving candidate. I think he's going to get a lot of not only votes as a deserving candidate,
but sympathy votes.
No, I would call them goodwill votes.
Okay, I'll go with that. And you know what? I wouldn't feel bad if
fun player having a great season for a contending team.
Yeah, and so if the Yankees make the playoffs, I mean, we won't know this until after the playoffs anyway, but if the Yankees make the playoffs, having Aaron Judge go into the playoffs with that chip on his shoulder would be nice, because he hasn't really had a really good postseason yet. But as of this recording right now, like I said, it's August 10th. The Yankees, if they make the playoffs, they're not built for it. Like right now, they are 18-19 in one-run games.
The bullpen's a nightmare.
They're 3-8 in extra inning games. And you talk about the bullpen. They made a lot of, like, at the trade deadline. I'm at Seven Springs,
like
and they made a lot of small trades. But the guys they brought in were from the White Sox, the Rockies, and the Pirates. All teams with an average of 41 wins. I'm not sure those are the players. Those are the players that are going to make you better, right?
Sure. And
like Seattle went out and got the prize of the trade deadline from Arizona, and apparently the Yankees were close. They were close on him, but again, they want to hang on to some of their prospects. I get it, but I mean, when the new bullpen guys came in addition to the bullpen guys they already have, I mean, you get swept by Miami, you lose 2 out of 3 to Philadelphia, then you lose 2 out of 3 to Texas. Aaron Judge comes back from his injury. He's hitting 250. He doesn't look the same. And go ahead.
It's sort of double-barreled for the Yankees because they're playing bad baseball. Like, it seems like at least once a week they become a viral sensation for a mistake on the base paths.
Or errors
not
in
knowing
the
how many outs there are. Volpe, playing shortstop like he's got a blindfold on. So there, you combine that with the Red Sox being, the hottest team right before the break and keeping it up, and the Blue Jays being the best team in the American League in certainly this summer. Like
they went out and got Shane Bieber. They got a starting pitcher.
It's just those two factors are really, there's a reason why there's justified panic in the Bronx.
Hey, Devin Williams at least has a beard, right? That's the thing Devin Williams brought to the Bronx, along with his ERA over 5. Like we have to go back into Super Meatballs history. When they signed him, I said, you know what? We didn't get Soto, but we replaced Nestor Cortez with Max Fried. That worked out. And we replaced Clay Holmes with Devin Williams. Now, Clay Holmes is pitching pretty well across town, but Devin Williams brought his 1.3 ERA and 60 saves with Milwaukee, and he is absolutely just crap to bed. And I don't know if it's just the big city, like the market from Milwaukee to New York, or what it is. But he's been. I'd rather see you on the mound, honestly.
And I've got like a labrum issue. I think we've talked about it before. So, I don't know what I can give you, but I'll put me in, Skip. I'll give you all I got.
We talked about this before we went live on Saturday. It was yesterday. The Yankees had Old Timers Day, and Mariano Rivera reportedly got hurt. He hurt his Achilles. And the reports are the Yankees still want him to pitch in their bullpen with a busted Achilles because he's the best thing that they could possibly have out there.
They'll send him out with one of those, like, wheelie carts.
Mow on 1 foot. Yeah, the kids in school have those. And there's a reason why they didn't have those for us growing up. We would have been flying off the stairs.
I'd imagine he'll be pitching from the stretch a lot.
Yeah. But he got a single off Andy Pettit. So, for whatever that's worth.
What's your on a scale of 1 to 10? What's your level of confidence of the Yankees making the postseason?
So I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go right now to their schedule because that's really where it matters. I mean, they play Houston today in the rubber game. Minnesota, St. Louis. It's like their last 4 series. Their last 4 series, they're at Minnesota. Well, Friday, September 12th, they go to Boston for 3. That could be a really big series. That could be a series reminiscent of what we had in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
But then they go to Minnesota, they go to Baltimore for 4, they get the White Sox at home for 3, and then the Orioles at home for 3. Honestly, if they can take 2 or 3 against Boston, 2 or 3 against Minnesota, and then in the last 10 games, they should win 8 of them. You know what? They have to tread water right now. If they can hold their own, play like .550 baseball against Houston, St. Louis, Tampa, they got a home series with Boston. but the schedule becomes very favorable at the end.
Well,
They have Toronto for 3, and after that, it's really easy. So, scale of 1 to 10, how confident I am of them making the playoffs. Just making it,
yeah,
I'm going to go 8.
Yeah, I was going to say 7 or 8 because I feel like at the end of the day, they're too talented not to at least get.
They'll win despite Aaron Boone and the lack of fundamentals, like you talked about on the bases, and just it's embarrassing to watch.
How in jeopardy do you think his job is?
Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like George Steinbrenner comes back from the dead.
Yeah.
6.5, 6 3/4. He's actually, I read that his rapport with reporters has actually changed. It's like he used to be like lighthearted, like even in years past when the Yankees would lose 15 in a row, like because he always felt that he was safe. That's changed now.
Yeah.
But I still think he's a Cashman yes man. He'll do whatever the GM tells him to. I know the argument is who do you go out and get, but I think Cashman's time is coming to an end, and they need something new. You know, the old isn't working.
Do you ever think they'd make a run at Mattingly?
To manage? I don't know if he'd come back. I mean, they had him as a bench coach or a hitting coach, and
didn't
they gave the job to Boone. So I don't know if Mattingly is petty like that, or if he would come back. But it's not like Don Mattingly like lit the world on fire at the Dodgers when he was in charge. So,
sure.
and the pressure of being the Yankee manager when you were the greatest Yankee of the '80s, I think there's that's a different level of, you know, than what he has in Toronto right now, or even in LA.
Sure. Yeah.
I kind of like to have the memories of him, even as a hitting coach, and just have that be that. Although he'd be so great in that clubhouse. He's a tremendous wealth of talent and intelligence that I don't think Aaron Boone has.
He does seem like a really good players manager. Just as a guy who did play under, you know, like what can only be described as a very restrictive regime when he was a Yankee. You know, I think that informs his managerial style and players. Even if the wins and losses haven't always reflected it, I think players really respond to him.
So, I mean, that's what's going on in New York. I haven't followed Boston much. Garrett Crochet leads the league in wins, and I said at the beginning of the year I would not be surprised if Boston made the playoffs, despite what Fangraphs said, despite what Pecota said. I said I think they're going to be a wild card team, and here they are, right in the hunt for the wild card team. How have they been playing for you?
Well, you know, they're still. I can't remember what they've won out of their last 10. I think maybe 7 or 8 of their last 10. They're 3 back at Toronto, so they're not. It's not out of the realm of possibility that they can win the division. I can only describe them as a very pleasant surprise. You know, especially when it seemed like they were punting on the season with the Devers deal. You know, it seemed like they were, you know, just kind of looking to the future. And, you know, it got to be June and July, and they got hot, and it's just kind of like, you know, like snowballed for them.
Time to check on the Brazil.
Oh, I thought maybe it was a phone call from the Macho Man hotline. I thought we had word on the workout system.
I forgot we set that alarm, so that's good. No, so Boston's 8-2 in their last 10. They just lost yesterday, but you're right. 3 back of the Jays. If you go the whole league, like American and National League, they're 8 games back of the Brewers, the best record in baseball. But you know we don't do that. But that's still upper third, which I kind of forgot about the Devers trade. Quite honestly, they've gotten through with some of their starting pitching. They extended Roman Anthony. I saw they signed him to a long deal, which is good for him, I guess. Is it weird that he's given a guy like Roman Anthony a long contract? He hasn't done anything yet. Like Skeens has at least.
It does seem a little premature. Um, I know at the deadline they signed they traded rather Dustin May to kind of add to the pitching a little. They didn't make any. They said they were going to be a buyer at the deadline instead of a seller, but they didn't make any splash moves. They seem happy with what they have, I guess.
I don't think there was a lot of splash moves. Like aside from Seattle, I didn't even think the Bieber trade got a lot of noise outside of Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, Correa going back to Houston.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, it wasn't an eventful last 8 hours. Like I did, like I said though, my phone would ding. It felt like every 20 seconds, Yankees make a trade. Yankees make a trade. Oh, cool, a White Sox player. Oh, cool, a Pirates player.
Right.
Oh, now we got a Rockies player. Cue up the Canyon of Heroes. We're going for a parade. I looked him up. Roman Anthony's hitting 279 for you, 2 home runs, 20 runs batted in, 811 OPS. He's 21 years old, so he's getting some time in the show. He's 21, but he looks like he's 30.
Yeah, he's a man. When I was 21, I remember I had to buy dress socks at Al's Men's Shop on Main Street in Bloom, no longer there. I was like 23, maybe 22. I was out of college. And he thought I was buying them for my junior prom. I don't have that problem these days.
No, I don't either. The white beard will do it for you. So
yeah,
that's good stuff out there. We talked a little bit about what we would do after our Little League games up at Coryell Stadium, and it's that time of year now. It's Little League World Series time, and for the 5th straight year, a team from Pennsylvania is going to be heading to the Little League World Series in Williamsport. This time it's the Glenmore Little League team, as they knocked off Maryland 7-1. They haven't lost in their postseason tournaments, which is kind of cool. They're going to face South Dakota, which is the Midwest champion, on Thursday. The World Series starts up on Wednesday, though. 4 games on the schedule. But from a local perspective, I think this first of all, this tournament is one of my favorite things in all sports. But I think it's a little better when there's a PA team in there. Maybe it's the media guy in me because of the story that they bring. What do you think?
It's so much better when there's a Pennsylvania team because, otherwise you just have the general interest of you're rooting for young kids who are getting a spotlight. There's general interest, but when there's especially when it was Keystone, from out near Williamsport, around here, that was a really big deal. People got really into it, and it's just it adds a little extra excitement to it.
I like when they have those the packages on pregame, and they'll show current major leaguers when they played in the Little League World Series. It makes it these kids are actually real. They have potential to become major league players. But the game itself, I saw a really weird criticism. So the big story, I guess, pre-World Series came in New Jersey. The New Jersey team lost a game because one of their players, it was like a double steal type of situation. They were losing 2-1, and the runner coming home touches home plate, but he did so after the runner going from first to second slides head first. And it's against Little League rules. He's called out. The run doesn't score, and the game is over. And I thought to myself, that's a brutal way to end a game. I saw a lot of criticism of Little League online. First of all, that this rule was stupid. But second of all, that they were actually putting Little League on TV. And the first part I can argue with, because these kids are playing travel ball and it's legal there. There's a rule that you're allowed to slide back into first head first, but not going to second, that your wires get changed. But I don't want to hear any noise about us putting Little Leaguers on TV and putting them in the spotlight. This is cool for them. And I like watching this. I think that's a bunch of garbage.
Yeah. As a kid, and I was a pretty like introverted kid, like maybe like a little shy, and I still would have eaten that up, like the chance to be on TV, like playing baseball with my friends.
Doesn't like Big Al who hits dingers. You remember that kid?
Oh, is that the kid who wore like? He didn't wear batting gloves. It was like what a lumberjack would wear to take down a redwood.
I don't remember what he wore, but like in the pregame, like, "Hi, I'm Max. My favorite player is Paul O'Neill." No, he was like, "I'm Big Al and I hit dingers," and then he did. He went out and hit home runs. Like he was a kind of a big kid, but like that's I don't know. That to me, it's like a purity thing. Like you can't ruin that. That kid's just being a kid, and yeah, put him on TV, let the world see him because I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, by that rationale, why do we put Little League in the paper then? Why are we shining a light on a situation where they could possibly fail?
Some would argue locally that we don't. in my local paper, at least.
But like, I think it's cool that adults make this like a great, memorable experience for the kids, and being on TV is part of that.
Yeah, I agree. So there's a really cool live bracket link. If you go to littleleague.org, you can kind of follow along with how the bracket is laid out. The Mid-Atlantic champions, which are the kids from Pennsylvania, they play a 7:00 game against the Midwest, and we'll kind of see how that works out for them. I'll be watching on Wednesday. It's kind of, this is the official end of summer for me. My game convention is like the pre-end of summer. Little League World Series is it. But we've gotten to the point now. We are officially 51 minutes into the show. So before the hour mark hits, we do have to talk about NFL or we will get fined.
That's what we need an alarm for. Not the Brazil.
Make sure you talk about football. No, so like one of the big pieces of news that hit was ESPN is buying or acquiring the acquisition of whatever the NFL Network and Red Zone. Now, what this does, which is kind of weird, is it gives the NFL a 10% ownership stake in ESPN, which like kind of shifts the way sports broadcasting is done because both parties have specific and different motivations. ESPN is apparently launching a streaming service now, like ESPN Plus, and they said they need content. Like, okay, I'm amazed they would say something like this, but the NFL on their end, from what I saw, they want to offload assets that are not making money. They say NFL Red Zone is experiencing a decline in subscribers, which shocked me. And
well, it's so expensive.
Well, I don't get it. So, like, I guess it shouldn't shock me because I'm not a subscriber. I didn't cancel.
Neither.
I thought that was all through cable companies, though. I didn't know the NFL set those prices.
See, now that I don't know.
Or is it like in conjunction? So, like, I'm a Comcast guy here in South Central PA. Does the NFL charge Comcast, and then by extension, Comcast charges us? I bet you that's how it works.
Yeah, but how do you feel about ESPN becoming even more of sort of like a sports media monopoly?
Well, so the first thing about this that I think is weird is the ownership stake that's transferring, because now the NFL or whatever corporation the NFL is owns 10% of a company that is covering it. So it's kind of like, it almost feels like state-run media, but not to the level that we think it would be. The other aspect of this that I read about that I hadn't thought about is now the NFL owns a 10% stake in essentially a gambling company, because ESPN launched ESPN Bet last year, and their morning show talks about ESPN Bet all the time. They push more gambling on their morning show than like Mike and Mike ever would. So now the NFL is involved in that directly.
Yeah, I know. I watch Get Up on ESPN a lot of mornings, and they had segments all week about like over-unders, like what's the smart bet. And it is very alarming that when we're seeing gambling intrude in pro sports more and more, that the NFL is like, I want to be in that business.
I listen to Unsportsmanlike before work, and they have a segment called their best bets every day, and they tell you these are our best bets. You can go to ESPN Bet to do this. Like, they're pushing that system, which is fine if people want to gamble. I have no qualms with that, but the league that they're gambling on, owning a stake of the system they're gambling with, I don't know. It feels like conflict of interest.
Especially when there are already questions about the integrity of NFL officiating and oversight from the league about officiating. You think it was bad before? ESPN and the NFL being in bed together, the first missed pass interference or questionable holding call, that's going to be the first thing that people are screaming about, is about how
NFL. First thing I'm screaming about on this show.
What's that?
That'll be the first thing I'm screaming about on this show. Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess we are getting a little loud about it.
But I mean, we won't be wrong. That's the thing.
Yeah, it is conflicts of interest across the board, and I think it's a bad precedent for, Major League Baseball is going to have a TV deal coming up. What's that going to look like? NBA and ESPN are already in bed together, and ESPN is gobbling up TNT, between Amazon Prime and ESPN. What's that going to look like?
I think that's what you're going to see more of, the Amazon Prime, the Apple TV stuff. And we talked about, how much it costs a fan to watch every football game that they wanted to watch. It was like $1,700 or something like that last year.
I think if the defining issue of the 2000s in sports was steroids, I think this is going to be the defining issue of the 2020s.
And you had asked, my thoughts about ESPN. I saw a great comparison. ESPN is the modern day MTV. When you and I were growing up, you could turn on MTV or VH1 for that matter, and you could watch music videos because music television showed you music. When we were growing up in the 80s, ESPN, they might have struggled for content at 2:00 in the morning, but they would put on World's Strongest Man from 1975, or they would put on, actual sports. Now it's largely talk shows all day long. Between on sport, they put a radio show on TV, which I think is cool, but your get-ups, your first takes, your second takes, your Pat McAfee's, and the show that I used to like, Around the Horn, more talking. They couldn't find any room for that because they have other talking they want to put in. They don't do news reporting anymore. It's largely just opinion. So you know what you're getting when you're watching a Mike Greenberg show. You're not going to get news, but they also don't. The lack of actual sports feels weird, if that makes sense.
I almost wish, with all the platforms that ESPN had, if all the opinion was filtered to one network called ESPN Talk or something like that.
You know what I miss?
There was one network that was, ESPN Game, and there was one that was ESPN Highlight and ESPNU for college sports. Differentiate it so people know exactly what they're getting when they tune into each channel.
You know what I really miss? And this is weird. I was thinking about this the other day. ESPN News, which was literally just like a Sports Center of game highlights.
Absolutely.
24/7. They don't have highlights anymore.
You watch. I had Sports Center on the other day, and they did a 10-minute segment talking to Lil Wayne. It wasn't even tangentially related to sports, except to say, hey, what's your favorite sports memory, Lil Wayne? Cool. Want to talk about your new tour? It was purely a promotional opportunity.
I remember growing up, I had a VHS tape. And it was always in the VCR for me, ready to hit record, and I had it labeled "Best of Sports Center," and it was sports highlights from when my team won a game. So if I knew Michigan won and I saw they did the intro, boom, I was going to record the Michigan highlights or the Bears highlights or whatever. And they ran Sports Center like a news program, but the news was these are the games that were played. They weren't talking to Stephen A. Smith, having him argue with Michael Wilbon for 20 minutes as to whether or not LeBron is better than Steph Curry. That's not a Sports Center thing. That should be ESPN talk, and there's a place for that. Just not on like a Sports Center show. I want to see highlights of, yeah, I know they don't matter, but like the Diamondbacks versus the Braves. Oh, did you see this guy rob a home run? He jumped into the third row. Yeah, I want to see the web gems. I miss that stuff.
Can we go back? Can we only have a channel that you remember the days when you would wake up and ESPN like the first 8 hours was just aerobics?
Oh.
Was it Katani or
no? Oh no! Now I have to look this up. Aerobics show ESPN mornings.
They had the one guy who'd always wear like a neon tank top and like bike shorts, and then they had the lady.
It was a girl out on the beach, Denise Austin.
Yeah, it was the lady on the beach, and then it was a guy in a tank top and bike shorts who would do like step aerobics for 8 hours nonstop.
Denise Austin is an American fitness instructor on the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports. She's 68, and oh my, she looks like she's 30. I mean, because of course she does.
Denise Austin.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the DVD titles. Like the DVD titles are something like Yoga Booty Lift, Shrink Your Fat Zones, Denise's Daily Dozen.
Mm-hmm. You ever try yoga?
I had a DVD that was like P90X. You remember that craze?
Sure.
Part of the warm-up stretch was yoga.
Yeah, I used to do the insanity workouts when I wore a younger man's clothes.
Oh no, Jen and I used to do insanity. Oh my, forget about it. Like that was just.
There was that one lady, I think her name was Tanya, and like the host would always go to her and he'd be like, "How you doing, Tanya?" And she'd be like, "Great, I'm killing it." And I'd just be like sweating on my carpet. I'd be like screaming curses at her.
My ankles would swell up to the size of watermelons.
The good old days.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, and we got there from ESPN and Denise Austin. So amazing stuff. In the rest of the world of the NFL, we're at the point now where we can actually talk about it week to week because the preseason started up, and the Bears and Dolphins play in a little under 2 hours, and the Eagles beat the Bengals on Thursday. Yay, I guess. But I'd say the biggest story from week one in preseason, probably, the two quarterbacks in Cleveland and New York. Jackson Dart had a really good game, and Shedeur Sanders had a really good game. But it's just that. It's just one game in the preseason.
And I can pile on ESPN a little more here because I had it on just trying to see what happened last night since I was away. And they were talking about the Giants preseason game. I'd seen the hype about Shedeur, who did look very good against Carolina. But, like, ESPN is like ready to, like, do 24-hour coverage outside of Shedeur Sanders' house. Like, and then I saw
funding the statue that's being built.
Yeah. And then I just saw them like do Giants highlights, and they compared Jackson Dart to Josh Allen based on one preseason start.
If every game looks like that, I mean, sure, but I mean, you and I both know that in preseason, especially week one, you're going up against the most vanilla of all defenses, and they're trying out there. They are. Right. But they're not disguising any blitzes unless you're playing against the Colts and like you want to blindside Anthony Richardson. But you're not getting an NFL defense. You're just not.
You're not like targeting certain players with a game plan or anything like that. You're more putting in different like packages and things to see how things work and how certain personnel looks and certain defensive looks or offensive sets. So yeah, it's like I remember a couple of preseasons ago, Kenny Pickett looked like the second coming of Joe Montana. How'd that work out?
Well, he's working his way. He's in a crowded quarterback room right now. That, I mean, yeah, it's slow down. But this is the talking heads needing something to drive clicks, to drive rage bait, to drive what do you call it?
To get idiots like us talking about it.
Words are hard. No, like when people get online and it drives interaction, and it drives those clicks. So I don't know. The cool thing I saw last night, it was the Steelers Jags game right before the half ended. What's this guy's name? I had it written down. Cam Little. Cam Little, do you see this? Dude cranks a 70-yard field goal that clears the bar by like 4 yards.
All right,
like this thing would have been good
Jr.
What's that?
I said, all right, Janikowski Jr.
No, seriously, what that means is the Jaguars need 1 first down and they're in scoring range. Well, like that ball was snapped on their side of the 50. Think about that. They didn't cross midfield and they got 3 points. Now, it's a preseason game. You're more likely to do stuff like this, but could you see them doing something like that in the regular season?
Yes, I could. I forget the name of the Cowboys kicker, but he is also supposedly a weapon from 70 and in. And the Cowboys last year had talked about, if the situation were right, letting him try a 65, 66, 67-yarder.
The penalty is so great, though. Like, the offense gets the ball at the spot of the kick. That's like you're putting them – I think the punt is so much safer. But, like, yeah, in a situation where the 2-minute drill –
yeah, like it's more of like an end-of-half weapon. End-of-half, end of game.
I mean, he's going in round 2 now in fantasy football.
All right, well, that's ridiculous.
I don't know if he's going that high. I don't know if he's going that high, but seriously, like that's a big time weapon that they don't have it in Chicago. I know that when they got rid of Robbie Gould, they lost all kinds of kicking juju. Although, have you done the Immaculate Grid in a while?
No, it's been months.
You've been a while. So for some reason, yesterday, I know why. Yesterday, I was looking up players for our draft later on, and the Immaculate Grid for football had the Bears on it. So like whenever I see it, like one that has like my team, I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this. Like, oh, who was a Bear and an Eagle? Oh, Alshon Jeffrey. Boom, got that.
Richard
and one of them was who was a Bear that kicked a field goal. And I think I ended up with Kevin Butler.
Yeah.
But and Kevin Butler was like 6%. I bet you Robbie Gould or I don't even know who their current kicker is. Like they'd be the big names that the kids today would know.
Anyone who played Tecmo Bowl or Tecmo Super Bowl knows Kevin Butler.
Yeah, which is largely you and me,
yeah.
people of our ilk, as it were.
Not the generation that gets excited about Pokemon cards in the locker.
I mean, I like games, but I don't know anything about the Pokemon.
I mean,
or the Yu-Gi-Oh, or whatever else the kids are doing. No, so preseason week 1 wraps up, and who's the Hard Knocks? Is it the Bills?
Yeah, it's the Bills.
I don't get HBO, so I'll watch the Buffalo Bills Hard Knocks 2 years from now when NFL Network replays them.
I can give you my HBO Max login if you'd like.
No, we don't need that.
Sorry, folks.
There are the 7 people that are watching right now. So
sorry, Roseanne.
All through the preseason here this summer, the Super Meatballs crew here has been ranking various positions, and this week you chose tight ends. So we're going to take a look at the tight end position, and it's interesting when I put my list together. I knew who my top 2 were going to be. I kind of had to look up number 3, and I'm surprised at who number 3 is. We'll put it that way. So
that was exactly my experience, where I feel like number 1's a no-brainer and number 2 is very close to a no-brainer.
Well, let's see how no-brainer it is, because the last couple times we've done this, we got 1 and 2 the same, except for the last time we did it. So we've taken a couple weeks off. We've done some vacationing. Let's see if we're symbiotic again here. Who's your number 1? We'll go 1.
It's only his second year, but it's got to be Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers. I put Brock Bowers on my list. He's not my number 1 guy, though, and it's probably for a weird reason.
Okay.
Brock Bowers is probably the biggest threat weapon-wise as a tight end.
Sure.
Even in Las Vegas. I think he had I had the link here to his stats. Did he have the most targets?
I think the guy in Arizona, what's his
Arizona.
name?
No. I mean, Brock Bowers ran over 60 more routes than anybody, and his target percentage was slightly less than McBride's. But at 60 more routes run, he's still 26% of the option, 26% of the targets. That's incredible. His total EPA, which I'm not sure what that means here on this page, ranks him 2. I took the guy ranked number 1 first, but that's I don't think you can go wrong with Bowers. Who was your 2?
My 2 is I've liked him for a long time. Both the personality, because he's a quirky dude, and he just produces. But George Kittle.
There you go. So we have a flip flop. Kittle's my 1, and I think because I saw I know it was a Netflix show. Was it called Tight Ends?
Yeah.
Or was it called Receivers?
Oh,
because
it was one of the 2, but yeah, he was like a breakout.
Oh, dude, he was so like. If I have to pick like my favorite non-Bear, like he's the Andrew McCutchen to the Yankees. Like George Kittle was just so cool, but he produces. It's not like he's quirky just to be quirky, because like there is that guy in the NFL, like the backup offensive guard for New Orleans is probably a weird guy, and if you watched him, you'd be like, man, he's entertaining. I'd listen to this guy talk about life for like an hour, but he's the backup guard. Nobody cares.
And Kittle. On top of being a bit of an oddball, he's such a stud in the open field. Like,
yeah,
I love seeing him like seek out contact.
George Kittle 40. Like, how fast is he? Because that's the other thing. He's a 4.5 guy.
Yeah,
and
what's he listed as height and weight?
He's 6 foot. I had it. He's 6'4", 250. Like. He's a big dude.
So him and I are close height and weight wise, just maybe differently proportioned. I'm like 6'4", 240 these days.
I'm 5'8", and the last time I got on the scale, I was around 231. But I mean, I'm fairly more rotund than a guy 6'4" is going to look. I mean, mine is, since I'm short, I'm a little wider.
And also, I'd like to say right now, if George Kittle's watching, I'm challenging you to a foot race, dude. So,
I'll record it.
If you see this and you make your way to Bloomsburg, we're going to go up to Redmond Stadium and we're both going to run a 40. If I can last 40 yards, not a guarantee.
Remember we should have you run 45 yards, like do the running 40.
What do you think your running 40 would be?
The last time I ran a 40, we were coaching football, and I was 7 years younger, and I think my 40 time was like 6'1".
Do you remember? Because we got timed in.
I had no cleats on. I had no cleats on running on grass, so I think with cleats I could run a flat 6.
We got timed in the 40 as seniors. Like, do you remember like that spring fling thing? Do you remember what your 40 time was?
Yes.
What'd you clock?
4.95.
I beat you.
I was a sub 5. Like I was always slow though. You also have longer legs, so like I think that's an advantage for you.
I was just a shade under 4.7. I was like 4.68.
Great.
And I like to tell people that Jerry Rice was a 4.63 coming out of Mississippi Valley State.
Yeah.
So I was taller. I was almost as fast. I was basically Jerry Rice.
You know who was faster than both of us?
George Kittle.
Put this kid on a running 40, like his numbers were almost like sub 4. The greatest bowler in Hazelton area history, Tony Lean.
Tony Lean
was sneaky fast.
And he ran like he was carrying a suitcase in both hands.
Yeah, he had terrible form. Like the only person I think had worse form than Lean was Matt Chisnell, who would run with like his arms straight, and he probably still does.
Rigotti had that Forrest Gump form going.
Yeah, I mean, Rigotti had a really big, thick upper body. So like if he got going, you had to hit him low because like he had a good fullback size, but he had a hard time getting started he was like running uphill for the first 5 yards. But then when he went going,
yeah, you had to take him at the knees.
Yeah. But George Kittle and Brock Bowers, I think the easy one too. Who did you go with number 3?
I actually went with Trey McBride is my 3.
So did I. And I went there simply because of his age. Because, like, honestly, not having Travis Kelce on this list kind of felt wrong. But
he's 36.
This might be his last year.
Yeah, he's slowing down. And I know some people like to hate on Travis Kelce. I love the Kelce brothers.
I think Travis Kelce has a bounce back year this year. I really do, because the Kansas City offense has some weapons outside of him. But I mean, he's going to turn 36 during the season, and I just saw a report that he and Taylor Swift bought this house in Ohio, which is famous for its seclusion for celebrities who want to get away from everything. That just screams like I'm done with football to me.
It does. I mean, Jason Kelce seems super happy in retirement. And I think maybe Travis sees that and he's like, maybe I want to get out while I still have my knees and a few marbles in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the same thing about Matthew Stafford out in L.A. Like, at what point does he want to say, I want to play with the kids and grandkids? I don't want to be that guy getting out of bed and cracking every bone in my body.
He hasn't been doing much in training camp because of his back.
No, that's where I heard it.
Yeah, he's at that point where, you're right. He might be stepping away.
Now, Matthew Stafford, I think, has the single most. I don't know the adjective to use, like, badass, mic'd up thing ever. Like when he had that separated shoulder, but he's like, no. And I forget who the Lions were playing, but they called a timeout, and it allowed him to get back on the field with the separated shoulder and throw a touchdown pass. Like, that was as badass as it gets.
For a bad Lions team too. Like, he very well could have been like, no, we're 3-10. Like, forget it.
You only have so much of that in you before you're like, yeah, I'm done. I have a life outside of football. I made my money. I'm going to have a family now. That's and I don't begrudge him that. That's good for him. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, pretty much the same. We flipped our 1 and 2. We're closing in on needing to rank kickers. I think the guy from Jacksonville's number 1 now.
And also just interesting that there is like young talent at the tight end position coming in with this rookie class between
Austin Loveland and
Tyler Warren. Yeah.
Is it Tyler Warren or Ty Warren? I forget.
I just talked to him like I was his mother and he was in trouble. Tyler Warren, you better have 90 catches this season.
I saw the highlights of the Colts' first game. Obviously, a lot of the news was around Richardson and his injury, but they showed Warren and his weird hair, and and maybe he'll be a weirdo like George Kittle too, that we can follow. Maybe he's like the first Penn State guy that I can actually like watching.
I liked him at Penn State. I would love to see him do well in the pros.
We will see. New little segment here today. We haven't done a lot of this, but according to the PIAA calendar, tomorrow is a big day here across the Commonwealth for fall sports. Training camp, doubles, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure it's changed from when you and I went through camps back in the late 90s, but as training camps open for high school football, what are some good memories you have of training camps past for you?
I think about the catered meals we got from Tresco Superfoods our junior year.
Yeah.
I remember
that didn't last long.
It did not last long, and I remember we were allowed between sessions like to leave and then come back, and we would all go to your house. And that was the first time I beat Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Was on a break between sessions that was
week 2. We had 3 weeks of doubles that year because school started late for whatever reason, or practice started early, or a combination. The first week, though, the Tresco Superfood week, we had to stay on campus the whole time.
Yeah, we slept in the gym. We brought like sleeping bags.
That was so bad. Like,
Yeah, you want to know a terrible way to sleep? On a basketball floor.
yeah. Oh, that was and we had triple sessions. Like you'd go out in the morning. We probably think we did offense in the morning.
Yeah, we did
And
offense, then
then
defense, then
from
special.
but like 11:30 to 12:30, like this short little mini session, we went out and did special teams. And it was like I have to put on my pads, which are all wet and just gross, just to go watch Bob Bognett kick. Come on. Do we have to work on the punt team right now? Oh,
there's something about that smell of like old football equipment, like sweaty football equipment, that just like takes me right back.
Like when I coached middle school. The locker room was one of the foulest smelling things ever.
Just a breeding ground for MRSA.
Oh, absolutely. If I could go back and tell myself, hey, try this. I don't know if baby wipes existed, but like if you just wipe out your pads and like the inside of your helmet, maybe you won't smell like raw ass. Like, and God bless me.
But it's a distinct. It's like sweat and old plastic. Like they don't make a Yankee Candle for it. I can't define.
Yeah. And I was thinking, God bless the kid. He was a great guy, smart dude, great player. But holy cow, Scott Wetteroth smelled like something awful because he never washed his T-shirt. And he wore the same shirt to every practice. Every practice.
Did you wear the did you have
that
the
was my
chicken
senior
shirt?
year.
Was that your
senior year I wore that every practice, but it got washed every day.
I also had a chicken. I ate a pig at the chicken coop, but I also watched
Senior Recon '96. Actually, I have that shirt somewhere. I found it. I found the Senior Recon shirt. Now, the thing that I remember most, and I actually tell this story a lot, it was our junior year again. We had practice on the softball field, and if you remember, we did a number on that field in the summer. Like we absolutely killed every blade of grass. There was a major drought.
It didn't rain the entire summer.
Yeah.
It was like gravel.
Except there was a 55-gallon drum somewhere like where shortstop would play, like in the outfield. And in one of the drills, it got knocked over and it revealed a little tuft of grass that was like a circle. And during one of the water breaks, we would sprint over to be the guy who was able to sit on the grassy grass so that we didn't have to sit on the cactus. I remember that. And during the summer sprinting sessions, like Coach Matz was in his car
with the air conditioning on. And he's like, "Oh, Rocky, you're killing him.
I'm going on
vacation.
That's
I can't
exactly
watch
right. Oh, I remember that. Oh, dude. And the whole of like just destroying that field. I don't know how it ever grew back. Like if I was Coach D'Agostino at the softball team, I think I would have filed a lawsuit against us. What we did was rough. But our local teams, my local team here, has something in common with our alma mater. Both Hazleton and Chambersburg are going to be breaking in a new head coach. I don't know if you saw Hazleton hired a guy named Scott Sacco. Don't know anything about him.
No, me neither. I saw they named the field house after Matsy, though. I saw it's the Rich Matz field house. I saw
that. That's good. Just like I'm sure there were whoever Geist was. I mean, Harmon, I think, might be the same guy named after the junior high school that we had, like D.A. Harmon. But whoever Geist was, I mean, I'm not old enough to know them. I'm not old enough to know Huey McGeehan, the guy the gymnasium is named after. But having someone from our generation have be immortalized up there, and he wasn't anything special. He didn't win any state titles. And
a great player and the first coach in program history. I think it's very good.
I'm with you. And for what he did for kids, like getting kids in school, and he cared about kids. So we had a good talk yesterday about another guy. But Richie felt like he cared about you personally, which is good. So hopefully Sacco is something like that. And Chambersburg, they have a new coach now, a longtime assistant, Gary Carter, is going to step in. Actually a former
The late Gary
former state
Gardner?
police officer, current district safety officer. No, he was the offensive coordinator last year, so I'm interested to see if he keeps the same offense. I don't know much about what Chambersburg brings back player-wise. This is me now not coaching for a number of years. I don't know the players, so I'll watch it from the vantage point of band dad. The trombone section is lights out. I know that.
Yeah, I'm so out of the loop too. Just not being at the paper anymore. I'll read the preview when it comes out in the local paper, and that'll be my sort of like.
I might get lucky, and Mid-Penn Broadcasting asks me to substitute as a broadcaster once or twice during the year. So when they do that, I'll probably have to start reading up on the roster and stats and stuff like that. But yeah, it's around the corner. 12 days till Chambersburg opens up with Gettysburg. So we'll see how that goes. And one other thing in the world of PIAA, I just saw a story from a guy named Mike Longo Jr. Shout him out. The West Hills Gazette on one of the biggest problems PIAA has going forward, the decline of high school officials. And it's been going on for like 10 years. PIAA executive director said in 2015 there was a mass exodus, and when the 5-year renewal came up in 2020, we had the whole COVID situation, and implications involve rescheduling. And Chambersburg had that. They had a Thursday game last year because of a referee shortage. They don't have they have all Friday games this year, but that's a serious issue over the next 5 years. If some of the older officials retire and they're not replaced, we could have serious scheduling conflicts and problems in the PIAA.
It's a completely thankless job for the training that you have to do to be up on rules interpretation, for a small amount of pay, a huge amount of abuse from fans, and then the travel. You're giving up a Friday night, or in some cases a Saturday afternoon, to be yelled at for 2.5 hours about something that more knowledgeably than every other person in the stands because you went to training for it. And
I will say, in all of the games I've coached and attended as a fan at Chambersburg, the stadium layout of Trojan Stadium is such that like even the closest fan is way too far away from the officials can probably block them out pretty well. When I coached, again, I was only coaching 8th graders. Our fans were great. And there were calls that were really bad, and I would laugh at our head coach who would yell at the officials like, "You're off the Christmas card list. I'm not going to send you an Easter basket this year." Like that. That's how he told the officials that he was displeased with their calls. I mean, you're absolutely right, and it's the travel thing that I don't think a lot of people think about because I have a buddy who lives in Lancaster who's been an official for 30 years. He doesn't officiate Lancaster games. He goes to York. He goes to, he goes all over the place. And I didn't even think about the travel.
And you have to think about it that, you get out of your regular job at 5:00 and you're driving maybe an hour or more. The officials have to be there pregame to do pregame. People, they don't just show up at 7 and blow the whistle for kickoff. You have to be there for pregame instruction and all that.
Check the maintenance of the field, check the scoreboard, check your technology, and
yeah. And then also, I've been at enough stadiums where I've been on the field to hear what fans yell at the officials, and I've walked out at halftime to make my way up to enough press boxes to hear the fans who go to the gate to get even extra abuse that they can yell and even try to confront the officials. I've seen security have to throw people out because fans would, threaten physical violence. So it's more than a thankless job. It's at times a dangerous job. Not even considering the fact that you could, get hit by a player on the field. It's a thankless, dangerous job.
I got hit by Steve Preston once. That hurt. Yeah, he was running an out route, and I had the camera right on him, and he came, boom, right into me. But that was actually kind of fun. It made good video. But no, you're absolutely right. I can't imagine the threat of physical violence against a high school football referee. But you're going to see more Thursday games, and because of that, I mean, it puts the kids at a disadvantage. I think. I mean, nobody wants to play on a Thursday and then go to school on Friday. Yeah,
short weeks, short practice week.
So we'll hopefully, at least for the next couple of years that my son is in band, we don't have to do Thursday games, but I'm not signing up to be a referee, so I'm part of the problem, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
But there it is. We'll kind of check in on Hazelton Chambers as the season goes along, as far as we can, not seeing too much of them. But we're at the.
And good luck to Scott Sacco and Gary Carter. I mean that sincerely. I'd like to see the alma mater do well, and let's get some quick hitters.
My current workplace, I'd like to see do well. So, yeah, we're
sure.
We're a buck and a half into the show, which is a good enough time to start our quick hitters. Are you ready?
Let me warm up. It's been a couple weeks.
All right, I have.
All right. Don't want to pull a hammy.
6 of them for you here today. So 6 at bats. Here we go. Number 1. Legendary ESPN College Game Day analyst Lee Corso was going to make his final game day appearance on August 30th in a clash of the Titans between top-ranked Texas and second-ranked Ohio State. Tim, between Lee Corso and Dick Vitale, who do you think was a bigger and better cheerleader for their sport?
Dick Vitale, but it's close. I think Dick Vitale was just like in the 90s. He was everywhere. He was doing ads for Pizza Hut. People were doing impressions of him. Lee Corso, his fame kind of grew a little more with like the video games, where in the Not So Fast, My Friend. So it's razor thin, but I got to give it.
I will not so fast, my friend. You and simply say that Lee Corso doing the pregame show didn't allot him the same opportunities to do play-by-play like Vitale did. What he did with headgear, I think it was just a random thing that he did. But isn't that like the
putting on the
cool thing that we find in the world in the media is just some random thing that somebody did. So number 2, and I don't know if you've seen this or not. I happened to find this on TikTok, and I don't even know if it's real. There was a trailer for a new Office series. It's called The Paper.
Yeah.
Did you see this?
Yeah.
So what are your expectations for this series?
I had low expectations when I heard the premise. I have higher expectations after seeing the trailer. It looks more like Parks and Rec than The Office. I think it's a good premise. I think it could be good.
I like that Oscar was at the end of it and he's like, no, not you again.
This can't be happening again. And I also like that he's like, I'm not going to give you anything that you can use. And he just starts like cursing.
That was funny to me. Whether or not it's a good show or not, I don't know. We'll find out. So more TV for you here on number 3. I was watching some YouTubes about the end of the show White Collar, because I told you I finished White Collar, and whenever I finish a series, I try to go find analysis of it because I'm not smart enough to analyze what I've just watched. And for some reason, I decided to, or maybe on the side when I was doing this, I saw some Quantum Leap stuff, and I saw a new finale for Quantum Leap that it was never aired, but in this new finale, Sam Beckett was able to leap home whenever he wanted to. So my question here, number 1, how do you feel about the actual ending to Quantum Leap? And 2, would you like the idea of the newer ending that was shot but never aired?
As a kid, I liked sort of like that philosophical ending where like I thought it was like super deep, where he's just in like some limbo in like a bar, and he's it felt kind of cool. But then like as I was older and I learned that like NBC just like canceled the show and they were like, oh, we've got to cobble something together. They put like a title card at the end of the episode where they don't even spell Sam.
Yeah, they put one T instead of 2.
Yeah. So it's a sloppy series finale that was, sort of forced on the producers by, network.
How do you feel though about the fact that the last slate said Dr. Sam Beckett never left home?
I did like that. I like that. I'm a fan of ambiguous endings.
So when I watched it live, I don't know how I felt. I just don't. But a couple years ago, I was binge watching the DVDs while I was doing some instructional design work from home, and when that came up, first of all, the whole series is one of the best. If we were talking about best TV series, that is tremendous. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. The ending though was so depressing when I saw it. But when I saw the new ending that didn't air, like, oh, it's the happy scrappy, he can go home whenever he wants to and see his wife or whatever. I don't like that ending. I kind of like the downer that because it's not a downer. Because in my head, he didn't leave home, but he's still leaping from space to space, helping people. That makes sense.
I would have liked it better instead of a title card if it had been like he leaped out of the bar he was in, and like Al's like, we've lost him, and like Ziggy's like, we can't find him either, and it's just left like, well, we don't know where he went. Like, yeah, where the viewer, like a Rorschach test, it's up to the viewer. Did he leave home? Did he die?
I wouldn't.
Is he in some other like universal ether altogether?
The part of me that needs closure, though, my head wouldn't wrap my head around that. But so there. And I forgot that NBC actually rebooted the series with like a new group of people. I didn't see a second of that, nor do I wish to.
What I liked about the original was that he could leap only in his own lifetime. In the reboot, it was all because I remember like seeing a commercial and he like jumps back to like ancient Rome, and I was like, what?
No, that's I thought so.
Why is Sam Beckett in a toga?
We'll take a little sidestep here to talk Quantum Leap. I remember going through the binge watching on DVD, thinking like, I think it was like season 3 or 4, they started getting too sloppy with, oh, he's in Elvis or he's in JFK, like he's in all these famous people. I like the stories of, I didn't know this guy. This is like a farmer in Illinois somewhere, and
or like some death row inmate.
That's what the series was. When they started to like jump into like famous people, that was.
I did like the Lee Harvey Oswald.
Well, I mean, you do it once or twice, okay, like 6 times. All right, here we go. Number 4.
Yeah.
Back to YouTube, I guess. For whatever reason, I had watched this a couple years ago, but I decided I wanted to rewatch it again. There's a YouTube channel called You Can Beat Video Games, and this guy runs through and he beats games, and then he does like a narration of what he's doing, and he wins the game Gauntlet. The old NES game Gauntlet. He shows all 100 rooms, and he never loses a life. Like, he comes close, but never dies. To me, that's insane. That is the most crazy thing, if you've ever played Gauntlet, to never die and just beat every board. So the question to you, Tim, is what is your biggest video game flex that you could pull out that you pulled?
Beating Tyson. No question.
I think mine was the 50-point comeback win over Dave in Double Dribble.
Yeah,
okay.
That we might have to have Dave on a future podcast to break that down. He might not even remember it, or he might have even
so far back. Yeah, I mean,
from his brain.
He's only a professional success today because he hasn't relived the indignity of losing a 50-point lead in Double Dribble.
Hey, ESPN, you want some original content? Do a 30 for 30 on that.
We have zero video footage of it, but there it is. I've never beaten Tyson. I think I've been to the second round once. Although there are so many people on TikTok who now play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out that make me feel so bad about it because it's like a thing.
I can't tell you how many times I kept putting in the 007-373 just to jump right to Tyson because I was like, I'm not going down like that. No, Mike Tyson, I'm not done with you. Little Max not.
The other thing that's wild, if you go out onto the world of the interwebs, They have the AI generated Little Mac and the AI generated King Hippo and all those things.
Yeah.
We do some creepy stuff with AI, man. Let me tell you, because they actually AI'd Mike Tyson, like this guy didn't exist in real life. No, not at
I
all.
love that.
All right, number 5. I saw on the Twitters that the Hazelden area Cougars have a kid in the class of 2027. Hazelden area pitcher Freddie Corrado announced his commitment to Penn State to go to college and play ball. Another Cougar on the way to state college. It's a good thing. I know Coach Kanzler is super proud of this kid. I have nothing further to say except to hypothesize that Freddie Corrado is the son of Fred Corrado, who played Little League against us and who hit me in the head.
He hit me in the head too. He knocked off. You remember you had to wear those, like, it was like a plastic guard that went over, not over the whole face.
Yeah, I never
like
wore
around
those.
like your mouth.
I probably should have.
My coach made all 9 and 10-year-olds do that. I was a 9-year-old, so I had to wear that. And Corrado knocked it off.
That's amazing. I joke with people. I tell them that it was a 70-mile-an-hour fastball. I don't know what it really was, but dude threw hard. And if Freddie Corrado, now the soon-to-be Nittany Lion, is his son, I mean, he throws hard too. And I saw some behind-the-plate highlights of the kid throwing, and he has a lot more control than his probable dad did. So good for him.
Yeah, always happy to see a fellow Cougar. I can't tell you how many people giggle when I tell them the mascot of our alma mater. But in all sincerity, I do like seeing a fellow Hazel.
Giggle at Cougars, really?
Oh yeah.
Just because of the whole the older lady dating a younger guy thing? Is that the? Okay.
100%.
I mean, then the Panther Valley Panthers, isn't that like the older guy dating a younger girl?
Well, I think that's like a silver panther, or like a silver fox.
Well, I mean,
when it's a man,
that's whatever. I mean, Harrisburg is the Cougars, and I feel weird if I wear a Cougar football shirt to my school because they think it's Harrisburg. But either way,
right.
Last one, and it's a visual, so you might have to get the old spectacles on. I saw this a couple weeks ago, and I thought this was a great question. So this was out on, I think it was Instagram. So you have to pick one, and I'm assuming this is basketball, since NBA player. If you have to score on somebody, and you can only pick one, are you going to score on a 6th grader, a varsity player, a D1 player, an NBA player, prime Steph Curry, which whatever, or the first person you would presumably would be one of your friends on social media? Who are you scoring on?
And so I get the $30 million if I successfully score. And if I just have to add a random follower on Twitter. I'm thinking,
if you don't pick that, you're crazy. Because all you got to do is say, "Hey, Jammer, $10 million to fall down."
But also even if I just want to do it legit, I don't know how many of my followers are good basketball players.
I mean, a 6th grader, I think I could definitely post up, and the 6th graders are big now, but I could get 250K. My first at would probably be Jen, and I feel really good that I could get a layup on her. I'm just saying.
I think you could muscle her.
And I think $10 million of shoes. I don't think she'd feel bad about it. So
there you go. Yeah, I think 30 million's I was going to do either one. So
take 6 off the board. I think the question then becomes, can you score on a varsity player? I don't know if I could at my age and my relative lack of quickness, unless they really are just playing 10 feet off of me and I get lucky on a jumper.
I've watched enough small school basketball to know that there are a bad Class A team, the 12th man. I could 100% score on that kid.
You're calling him a varsity player? I guess so.
Like a school that graduates 40 kids.
Okay.
and they exist.
No, you're
I'm not
absolutely right.
exaggerating. Even at 45, a few weeks shy of 46, I could still
going for the million. I would play it safe. I'd go for the 250K, but it's interesting.
No chance on any of those other people though. D1 player, forget it.
Even the Brian Scalabrine of the worst D1 football or D1 basketball team out there.
Like I played pickup ball a few times with like some like former like BU players, like just up at the rec, and like I was so far out of my element. They played
intramurals against against kids at IUP that weren't even on the IUP team, and this was back at like maybe my peak athleticism, high school, college. Yeah, give me the 250K.
Me too. I did intramurals too, and like even just playing kids who were like really good high school players who didn't go on to play college sports.
I
don't think people realize how good
and how short I am. So there's that. You at least have some size. I do not. So all right.
Well, we've already established that.
Essentially, yeah.
And 6 foot Jerry Rice. So.
And I am not. That's for sure. So here we are. We are now at everyone's favorite time, the Soup and Meatballs draft, where we learn a little bit about famous American documents and we pick random things. So today, Tim, what are we drafting?
We are drafting our all-time favorite football players who did not play for one of our favorite teams. So in your case, you can't pick any Bears.
So what I did, I tried to shy away from anybody who ever even played a snap for the Bears. So Craig Hayward might have made the list because he made his name in New Orleans, but he was a Bear, so he's not on the list. So we have our famous American documents. I need a number and a color.
Does the color have to be red or
black? There's no jokers in this deck. I mean, or the back of the card is brown, but you know.
I'll go
1, 2,
red.
3, 4. You said red. It is the number 4. It is the Treaty of Fort Laramie in 1868, which is the Indian Wars with the U.S. government, Indian treaties. Yeah, so there we go. It is also the 4 of spades. So you lose. But I'll tell you what, I don't think outside of the first one, which I'm inclined to pass on this guy. Let me get the make me pretty light back on. Here we go. Because I have a list of 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11. So I might pass on the first guy because my first pick is going to be somebody who I thought was awesome in college. And when he got drafted in the pros, I thought, this guy's going to be great. I don't care what Mel Kiper says. I'm going to go with Marshall Faulk.
Oh, I remember you were all about
he was watching Sports Center. The guy was a human highlight reel. And catching the ball out of the backfield, just a tremendous all around from scrimmage guy. I loved me some Marshall Faulk. So I'm going to take him number 1 overall and leave the presumptive number 1 pick to you then.
I'm curious who you think the presumptive number 1 is.
Because if you don't take him 1, I'll take him 2 and not feel bad.
Fair enough. And I also loved Marshall Faulk. He did not make my list. Now I'm feeling some. Well, now I think I know who the presumptive number 1 is.
Is there pressure on you now?
Is it Bo Jackson?
Bo Jackson was, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then I'm going to take Bo Jackson.
I mean, just despite, the double sportness, which was great, like his football career was cut short to the point where he has fewer rushing yards than Jim Harbaugh. But I mean,
yeah. But just especially for people of our generation who not only watched him play both sports, but also played as him in
Yeah.
Tecmo Super Bowl, which is like for sports video gaming, just like
When you came down to
legendarily good.
the video game room the one day and like Paula Abdul's Rush was on, and you're like, dude, that's your game plan right there, right? Like, yeah, kind of get the ball to Bo and rush. Yeah, he just epitomized everything that was cool about sports, and he was never a Bear, so
Yeah.
never an Eagle too. So I mean, he fits yours.
And I'll tell you what, when we do this with baseball, he might be on my list again.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I mean, White Sox and Angels. So that's easy number one, and I almost feel stupid for giving him to you, but it is what it is. My number two, I'm going to stay in the backfield again. My list is very largely predicated on positions I played, and he was quite possibly my favorite player for the longest time in the 90s. Thurman Thomas. Love Thurman Thomas.
I figured I know how fond you were of those Bills teams, and Thurman Thomas in particular, who
Egg on offense was just cool to watch, and Thurman, again, another all-purpose scrimmage guy.
For a guy who was a league MVP, a Hall of Famer, like a multiple-time Pro Bowler, it's amazing how little he gets talked about. He really flies under the radar, 20 years after his playing career, 25 years, whatever it is.
And I'm sadly, one of the biggest, memories of the guy, if you ask people from our generation who maybe weren't the biggest Bills fans, was Super Bowl 26 when he lost his helmet.
Yeah.
Like, that's a shame because he had such a good Super Bowl 25.
Oh, he should have been the MVP.
He would have been the MVP if Norwood hits that field goal, he's the MVP.
Even with the loss, he should have been the MVP.
Oh.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, but just an all-around great player. Spent some time in Miami, which looked weird.
Yeah,
like Thurman Thomas with the Miami helmet. That might be one of the weirdest. Like you saw Joe Montana with the Chiefs or Jerry Rice with the Seahawks.
It's like seeing Hakeem Olajuwon with the Raptors.
Yeah, it's just what kind of AI am I looking at? Because he always had that. I used to like Emmitt Smith's helmet with the sidebars so he looked cool. Thurman Thomas's helmet was like he had the cross-eye bar in the middle, so like you couldn't Three Stooges him. I didn't think he looked cool, but like he was cool, I guess.
So I'm also. It's funny how we're going all running back, but another guy just like Bo who looms large for our generation, maybe the most fun player that we watched growing up, Barry Sanders.
Yeah. Well, I had to see
every game he played, good or bad, he was going to do something you had never seen before. Because other than Lomas Brown, no one was blocking for him.
Playing against him was no fun. But absolutely. When people argue about who the best running back of all time is, it's usually between Barry, Walter, and Jim Brown. I have a hard time going against Barry Sanders as the number one guy. And I get this a lot. That if I get on Twitter or TikTok right now, it happens quite often. I will get a notification that says somebody liked your comment, and here it is. Z liked my comment. Somebody, when was this comment made? Back in September of 2024. Here's this guy who's looking at Barry Sanders highlights, and he's like, "I'm not impressed." And I wrote, like, dude, I'm a Bears fan. If you rank him anything less than an A+, it's criminal. Like, this guy's wearing a White Sox hat, so I think he's a Bears fan. You can't watch Barry Sanders highlights and say he's not top 3, arguably top 1.
And every kid who played sandlot football in the 90s tried to do like the Barry Sanders juke. Yeah. Just inhuman
explosive speed. Like, I think mysterious speed. Like, I don't think he was ever like the fastest guy in the world. He was just slippery and fast enough.
And what was especially impressive was the speed out of a cut, where he would make a move and be able to keep going at the same speed he had been previously almost.
Yeah.
Just and like the run he had on Sunday Night Football against the
Patriot,
Patriots, where he's running down the right sideline and he just
that
spins the
safety is
safety
has
like a
no
top.
chance. The safety might as well just fallen down. It'd have been less embarrassing, I think.
Yeah. No shame in getting turned around by Barry Sanders. He did it to a lot of great players.
Yeah, so good pick. I will get out of the running back race. I have another running back on the list, but we'll transfer here to middle linebacker, and it's certainly a team that I don't root for. And when I went to college, they became like, oh my gosh, I can't stand these lunatics that call themselves Steeler fans. But I loved watching Levon Kirkland. Levon Kirkland was 752 pounds, and he ran the 40 in like 4.3. His face mask was like just entirely black. He looked like death, and that's like what a middle linebacker should look like. So he was so cool.
He had a brief stint as an Eagle where he was a lot of fun. Yeah, where he was a lot of fun to watch. And you're right, just for the size and seeing him covering people out of the backfield.
No business being as athletic as he was. No business.
Yeah, just one of those freaks. One of those kind of like someone who didn't make my list, but I considered on the other side of the ball, like a Christian Okoye, like 245 pounds and moving like that. Levon Kirkland was like the Christian Okoye.
Christian Okoye was running an ISO power up the middle, and Levon Kirkland met him in the hole. The world would have ended. That would have been it.
Yeah, there would have been a mushroom cloud, and like they'd be making documentaries.
The world would have ended. The earth would have exploded, and that would have been it. So, Kirkland's my number 3.
Kirkland, that's a really good one, and I wasn't expecting that. I'm also going to leave the running back position. I'm going to go with a guy who, from the even in college, I couldn't help but like this guy, Larry Fitzgerald. You know, son of a sports writer. He was a ball boy for the Vikings because his dad, got him in with the team. Always just like a good teammate, a good locker room dude. Like you'd see the clip of him like Kurt Warner on the sideline calling games and Fitzgerald coming over and tackling him, and just never dropped a pass.
I was going to say
the best hand
in 17 years. Do you know how many drops he had?
I've seen the stat that he had more tackles than he had drops.
He has 41 career tackles, 29 drop passes. Because I looked up because I remember like that was a thing. Like I didn't know the actual number, but
and he killed the Eagles in the NFC Championship game in 2009. And
one of the best run blockers out there too. So the running back in me would appreciate that.
Yeah,
and his hands were like
I know. People talk about like Hines Ward as a blocker, and rightfully so, but Fitzgerald was a stud
all around. And he went to Pitt of all places. So like when you see
should have won the Heisman.
When you see the list again, what's my TikTok on anybody? They have this thing where they take the big 3. So it was Pitt versus Penn State. Pitt's all-time quarterback was Marino. Their all-time running back was Dorsett. Yeah, and then their wide receiver was Fitzgerald. And they went up against Penn State. Penn State's all-time quarterback was Kerry Collins. Their all-time running back was Saquon Barkley, and their all-time receiver was O.J. McDuffie. Pitt just stomps them in every category. Running back is closer, but Pitt's big 3 might be the best of any team anywhere. Yeah,
I mean, Pitt had like such a great run in the 70s and 80s, and that's a rivalry that kind of went by the wayside too. The whole Penn, and it's a shame because that was a good one, especially for Pennsylvanians.
Speaking about Pennsylvanians, and I went with a Pittsburgh linebacker. I'm hard pressed not to take another Pittsburgh linebacker, so I will. And this is largely based on the video series that I've seen of him working out. But when I went back and watched highlights of this guy, James Harrison was a problem, and another just scary looking dude. We did our scariest athlete thing. I think Harrison might have made the list there too. But like that's what you want out of a linebacker. You want him to instill fear in people. And my goodness, man! I mean, there's currently a prisoner on death row in South Dakota who's scheduled to die by James Harrison. That's how vicious this guy is.
How does Harrison do that? Does Harrison just like
he looks at him the wrong way?
Just dealer's choice.
There's choice.
Yeah, and like so people, you know, like you're saying, like they talk about the fear factor. They talk about like the workouts and like what a weight room monster he was.
Still is.
And I think that overshadows how great, like defensive player of the year caliber player he was. Like all the other stuff kind of overshadows. You know, he was really good for a really long time.
And the 99 or 101 yard interception return in the Super Bowl totally swung things. How he wasn't tackled is a sports mystery that'll never be solved.
And Fitzgerald chasing him down 100 yards. Yeah.
So I have two Pittsburgh linebackers and two 2,000 yards from scrimmage running backs. I don't know where I'm going to go number 5. It's a mystery.
I'm going to defense as well. And this is a guy who I like for a variety of reasons because he just seems like a really good dude. J.J. Watt. You know, in terms of like pass rusher, I would put him in a class with like Reggie White and Bruce Smith is the best I've seen in my lifetime. I know we talked a little about like the FanDuel bracket about best players on defense in the 2000s. And this is no slight to T.J. Watt, but J.J. Watt's the standard for me as an edge.
I think,
and just like a good guy, like when Houston was devastated by hurricanes and like he raised money for hurricane victims, like a good social media guy, a funny guy who made cameos on the league. Like just all around.
I forgot about the league. I was going to say, I think you only voted him because he played tight end too.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
but nothing but great things to say about J.J. Watt.
I won't argue any of them. Any kind of player who does good in the community, that elevates him a little bit. I'm sure. I don't know if he was ever the winner of, but I'm sure he was nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, which that carries a lot of weight in my head, at least.
And also, we talk about like on-field stuff. One of only a handful of guys to win 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. If I'm putting together my all-time defensive players who I've seen play, he's on it.
Totally fair. I would have to think, but he would definitely garner consideration. My number 3, I'm going to go to the other running back that made the list. So the other 5 on my list are all defensive players, which I'll tell you about after your pick. But this is a guy that I saw in college a bunch of times because he played at Purdue. And then when he got drafted into the league, they thought he was a fullback, but they gave him the ball like he was a tailback. And dang it, if Mike Allstott wasn't just really fun to just watch people get bowled over by, because he had the look. He had the big shoulder pads, and he didn't know how to run out of bounds. He knew how to run through people. That was just fun to watch back in the 90s when that's what football was.
And, as we reminisce about the ESPN that we miss, you can't think of Mike Allstott without, the nickname, Good Hands with Allstott, but also the
Exactly. Probably shortened his...
And this shows that we're...
shortened his career because he played like that, but...
Absolutely. And this should show that we're not Michigan homers, that I'm picking a Wisconsin guy, you're picking a Purdue guy.
And, well, I don't know what he did against Michigan. I remember Ron Dane, the big guy from Wisconsin, had like 75,000 yards rushing, but like my junior year at IUP, he ran for 53 yards against us. Like he didn't do anything. He didn't hurt us. I don't think Mike Allstott ever like killed us to the point where like we lost a game, but yeah, My favorite Bear of all time, Raymond Harris, went to Ohio State, so I try not to have like that kind of blind Michigan loyalty affect who I like in the pros. But I couldn't pick Raymond Harris because he played for the Bears, obviously.
So, I mean, I loved Malcolm Jenkins, another Ohio State guy, so I totally get it. My number 5, speaking of alma maters, I've mentioned him before, but I'm picking Jari Evans of Bloomsburg University.
Jari Evans.
Hopefully a future Hall of Famer. He deserves it. He's gotten to the finalist round a couple times on the all 2010s, all NFL decade team. Great. You talk about a guy who went Division II and then was sort of seen as a project in the NFL. It ends up being one of the best interior linemen of his
I wanted
career.
to look at the size. I check his size here, and the overview doesn't have his weight, but they have his 40-yard dash time. You know what his 40 time is?
I'm gonna guess. I watched him against Westchester run downfield. He blocked a guy at the line. He blocked a linebacker at the second level, and then he ran almost step for step with Jamar Brittingham, and he planted a cornerback in the turf like the guy was an apple seed. I'm gonna say Jari Evans ran a 4.85.
5.25, but that's still relatively faster than me.
Yeah, and he's like he played at like 315, 320.
Big dude. If I had to pick a line, I think my favorite like non-Bear lineman, I'd have to go to Larry Allen, just because of the incredible bench press reps that he used to do at the All-Pro, at the All-Star show. Like he'd rep out like 56 times. Yeah, he'd be like 56 reps of 2.25. That's nuts.
Yeah.
But I'll give you that. Did you have any I have honorable mentions. I have 5 of them.
I do have some honorable mentions. The one who might be I didn't realize I tilted my camera here.
There you go.
The one who might be on both our lists, Derek Thomas.
Derek Thomas was on my list.
Yeah.
A cool looking dude. Rush the passer when that was important, but not what it is today. In a similar way, very similar player, Pat Swilling. Pat Swilling made my list too because of a soundbite.
Yeah, well, he wants those trophies.
And by trophies, he means
quarterbacks.
But then, playing Tecmo Super Bowl, he was the top linebacker. He was fast. He hit people hard. And he was part of that. There was a group of 4. I guess New Orleans ran a 3-4 between Swilling, Vaughn Johnson,
Sam
Mills. The 4 of them were just – they would get, a good story on NFL, the pregame show or, the primetime show. You'd see a lot of good highlights from them. But Swilling was the cool guy because he got all the sacks. So he's on my list too.
Sam Mills was the meat and potatoes guy. Pat Swilling was the home run hitter.
Yeah.
My love of Ed Reed, so I don't have to go on and on about that. I've talked about how much I love Ed Reed. And then another guy who, my love of Jerome Brown, and so related to my Jerome Brown love, Cortez Kennedy.
Yeah.
His Miami teammate, very similar playing style. Aaron Donald's the best interior lineman that I've seen, but Cortez Kennedy's in the conversation along with Warren Sapp. I loved watching Cortez Kennedy, and he's kind of like Thurman Thomas, where I don't think people realize how great Cortez Kennedy was, despite being in the Hall of Fame.
I agree. So I picked a guy that you weren't allowed to pick. I think Brian Dawkins it was amazing to watch. I put him up. I think he's better than Polamalu when people have that, who's the best strong safety argument. Between Ed Reed and Ronnie Lott, you have some arguments between who's the best free safety. The other 2 are probably more for what they did in college, because I don't really know if they had really successful pro careers. The one of them was my impetus for wearing 21 in high school. I don't know if you remember this. Dion Figures,
Sure.
who was an all-American corner at Colorado, who just I don't know why, because he looked cool and he was a good player. I couldn't even tell you who he was drafted by in the league. I don't know how long he played, but it was definitely an unremarkable career in the NFL. And the other guy I know was drafted by the Jets, so he had that going against him.
If you say the name I'm thinking, because it was the name that immediately came to mind, he's my Dion Figures.
Okay, so he looks like the real life Alvin Mack from the program, and he had a cool nickname. They called him the Shade Tree. Marvin Jones.
Oh my God!
Yes. When we put this list together, I did a Google search for Marvin Jones just to kind of remember how cool he looked with the big face mask, the big shoulder pads, the jersey that had like the dotted holes in them. Yeah. Man, that was football in the 90s for us. So
peak 90s, yeah. And you're right, one of the all-time great nicknames, Shade Tree.
And then they went to the Jets. So, I mean, that's that poor guy.
Where careers go to die.
So there's our draft. The NFL players all time who Tim and I like, who never played a snap for our own teams. That's a good draft, I think.
Yeah.
Top 5 time, and this was a joke that was like inspired by our vacation, or my vacation. What are the top 5 things we do on a Saturday or Sunday morning when we're not doing the show? Like, if you're tuning in live, first of all, like, you're here watching us live. We don't always get our viewers live, so they don't get this. But if we don't do a show on Sunday or Saturday morning, what are we doing? So, I mean, I have a list right here. I mean, there's not like 1, 2, it's whatever. But in whatever order you want to go, Tim, give us one of yours.
So I'll go with the previously mentioned going to see live music, which I just have to go back to it. I cannot stress enough how disappointing Bob Dylan was. Just like it was, I was on the field, and then like you know how Hershey Park has it, where they have the stage on the field, and then they have people like in the stands or whatever, and then they have like a pit area, and then
they have a mosh pit for Bob Dylan.
Well, no, they have like a front. They have like a part that's like a standing like by the stage, and then they have like seats behind that. But so I'm on the field, so I was relatively close, and yet I could hear conversations in the stands.
Oh boy, that's
yeah.
Live music. So like my wife does the live music thing, I think, more than I do, and she'll go. She has her favorite acts, the Barry Manilow's of the world. She used to see Clay Aiken a lot when he was big. I went to a Manilow concert with her once, and that was enough. That's not my thing. I did take Derek to a live concert event though a couple weeks ago, which was awesome. I think I told you about this. Up at Shippensburg, they had the movie Star Wars playing, but it was a special Star Wars track that didn't have any music in it because there was a live orchestra playing the music.
I've done that.
That was so awesome. And I mean, I kind of peeked over to the side to see how Derek was. Hope you like having fun. The kid is smiling the whole time. Like, and that just felt like that dad flex right there. Like, yeah, that's
when the Imperial March, like when you're seeing it with like a live orchestra, chills. It's fantastic.
So, that live music I would do. So that's a good one. So one of mine, if I'm not doing something on a Sunday morning, if it's the summertime, which it is right now, at least for the next couple of days, I will get on Netflix and I'll watch 3 or 4 episodes of whatever I'm watching. So I just finished White Collar, which was interesting. I would knock out, like I said, 3, 4, 5 episodes, which at 45 minutes a clip, like I'll start at 9 and next thing I know, it's time for lunch.
Nice little Saturday, nice little Sunday.
I need some, well, with football now, I'll start watching college football. But like I need a new show. I don't know what I'll watch next.
I've been looking for something on HBO, like from like that. I was thinking maybe Deadwood, like from like that prestige, like Sopranos, Wire, Deadwood era of shows.
Okay, I
And
know
like
nothing's dead, but I can't recommend it, nor can I say don't watch it.
Well, I'll let you know.
let me know. Number 2 for you. What else do you do besides this show?
I love going to the movies. And since we were off, I saw boom Superman, boom Fantastic Four, boom Lethal Weapon. Gonna go see Weapons. I love going to the movies. I love getting an icy, a small popcorn, settling into my seat. That's a nice way to spend 2.5 hours.
I miss the movie theater that was 2 minutes down the road. Like we talked about this yesterday. Like if I want to go to a movie now, it's a minimum of 1 hour driving time to and from. So like it's that investment. And I don't want to sound like old man yelling at clouds, but like a ticket now is it's there's no such thing as a $4 matinee where I'm from. Matinees are like $12.
A ticket shouldn't cost more than a quarter. President Hoover ought to make a law.
I mean, but here's the thing: like when you can just get on Netflix and stream something almost. So a couple days ago, I watched Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah,
which just came out, and I don't know if it was ever in theaters, or if it was planned to be in theaters. But I got on Netflix with the sole intent to watch White Collar because I was in the last season, I had like 4 episodes left. But then like that was the big advertisement at the top, and I'm like, I liked Happy Gilmore. Okay. It was fine. It wasn't my favorite Sandler thing. And I've heard like conflicting things about this movie. People thought it was okay. But I'm like, you know what? It's on Netflix. Like, what do I have to lose? And I watched it. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine. I didn't leave that movie thinking, oh my gosh, I need to get on YouTube and see the analysis of it or the analytics behind, oh, what's this and this. I thought the shooter character babyface turn was weird. The Maxi Golf thing felt a lot like Ben Stiller's gym in Dodgeball to me. Like it had that feel to it. And then the end was the end. You knew it was going to happen. So it was okay.
Spoiler alert for a movie that's barely been out, but I was shocked when Julie Bowen died like 5 minutes into the movie.
Man. But she was still in it, like in parts, like in flashback forms. So I kind of wondered, like, did she not want to do the movie, or?
I bet she probably didn't want to do it, but Sandler, he has a reputation as such a nice guy that she was like, you know what, I'll show up, but
I'll give you 20 minutes.
Yeah, I've got my Modern Family money. I don't need this, Adam. Yeah. But
go to the movies. I can't do that Saturday morning, but Saturday afternoon, sure. Yeah, let's do that. So the other thing that I put down, so like my number 4, this goes more towards during the school year because if you don't know, I teach. I'll grade stuff in the morning just to try to get done. And it's like a little bit at a time. I try not to overwhelm myself with it too much, but I'll try to knock that actual work. Not fun, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't teach, but I was doing a little work this morning, so I totally get that. You teachers, you're the real heroes.
Yeah. What's your number 3?
Well, as you know, and as it's come up a few times on the podcast, but I've been trying to learn and now improve at the guitar.
Nice.
So I like fiddling around. Like I call it my guitar chair. It's right by the TV. I'll put something dumb on that I don't have to pay too much attention. That hopefully doesn't have like a lot of music because that easily distracts me. And I'll just try to learn chords or just even like figure out the tune to like a song that's in my head. But that
you write the Soup and Meatballs theme song.
I did. Yes, I did write the Soup and Meatballs. It needs a title. So if any viewers want to suggest a title,
I forget what episode that was that you played it. So
like, it had to be in the first.
You have to go back and watch every episode to hear it.
Ask AI if it knows when the Soup and Meat, because it was on the charts, right? It was like on the iTunes charts for a brief time.
If not, it should have been.
I agree. I'd love the royalties.
and you're going to get a snake sticker for the guitar here as well.
Yeah, I am.
Next time, I'm going to put it in my car so like I have it the next time I see you.
And but yes, guitar has in like the last 2 years, 2.5 years, become something I very much enjoy doing.
Gotcha. So I'm going to skip ahead. Hey, you, come here. Come here. So this was like my number one, but now that she came down, can you say hi to the world? Say hi, world. Hi, world. Come on, get in here. This is world. This is Maria. So one of the things I do when I'm not doing the show is Maria and I play board games, right? So can you tell the world what your favorite board game is? It's got the discs. We flick. Crokinole. You like Crokinole, and it's like a little shuffleboard style game. Okay, yeah. You can go. But at the convention, you go to the convention, you have to bring the kids something home, and they have vendors there. And I bought this game. It's not a game. It's more like a puzzle called Professor Marbles, where you have marbles of different colors that start in one beaker, and in X number of moves, you have to put them in other beakers. So it's like a logic puzzle type thing. She's been messing around with that, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, I just spent 9 days at Seven Springs playing, I think, upwards of like 96 board games over 9 days. So if I'm not doing something Soup and Meatballs related, it's good bet that I'm playing board games somehow, some way.
And it's funny because I've joked before. I know with my brothers, and I think I've said this to you, like people at a certain age start to find these like what I'll call like niche or fringe hobbies. For you, it's like board games with your dad. Like it seems like that's how it started, and it's kind of grown for you. For me, it's become collecting vintage comic books.
Yeah, until yesterday, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
about you.
And so I do that not just like on the weekends, but like I was telling you about a site I go to, Hip Comics, where I just like to bid on cheap old comics from the 70s and 80s. I actually, this will be a quick tangent. There's a Marvel comic from the 80s. They were trying to like cash in on the CB like trucker craze. So it's like a character whose special power is like he got in a car accident and they put like gave him like a metal skull that doubles as a CB radio. It's
wow. Like Cousin Eddie.
It is
like over here is nothing, but if this gets dented.
And spoiler alert, he ends up in outer space as a trucker for aliens. It's as terrible as
a galaxy trucker.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that. I have a buddy who does a different podcast called Board Games Are for Losers. You should check that out after this one. One of his favorite games is called Galaxy Trucker.
Well, there are only 12 issues. It's called US 1 because the character is Ulysses Solomon Archer. Okay. And just when I came home from my concert yesterday, I like I said, there are only 12 issues. And I completed the set. I bought number 12. It was sitting on my porch waiting for me when I got home. A little window to my interest.
You remember life. way back when?
That is what I do.
I would buy the cheap comics, and then we would cut out the words and tape them onto WWF magazine. You remember that? That was a weird thing. We used to make our own comic set.
And then we used to tape the comics we made onto like our school notebooks.
Well, at one point then. So we're in 7th grade. We're walking home, and one of your brother's friends, Brian Potash, shout out Potash, gives us a ride. And in his car, like he had all kinds of weird stuff taped in there. Do you remember that? That was the inspiration for I did the same thing in the Granada, and in the Chevy Nova where they had like a pegboard roof. I had those Terra-Day Farside calendar cartoons in there.
Yeah.
I mean, all the girls in high school thought that was cool. They did. They did. I didn't know anything about the comics, and like tying both of our niche hobbies together. At the convention, I played a game called Comic Hunters, and the whole core concept of this game, it's a drafting game, and they're cards, but the cards are comic book covers, and each comic book featured a hero, so like Hulk, Spider-Man, Thor, Black Widow, whatever. And then it was a style of magazine. So like the first edition, a versus, whatever. And really, at the end of the day, like you're looking at these symbols and you're trying to collect the most that you can, but you had to pay for them and stuff. It was gamey. But I remember telling the guy who taught it to me, his name is John. I said, John, if this game was a baseball card game, I would love it. I mean, I like the game, but if it was like baseball themed, like I would buy 20 copies of this. And I started mentally brainstorming a baseball card version of it, where instead of heroes like Hulk and Spider-Man, I came up with teams. Yankees, Red Sox, Cardinals, and I listed all the players that I actually started building the cards. But there's 135 of them, so I slowed down a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. But that's.
I feel like this is what men our age do if they don't golf.
I don't golf at all.
Me neither.
That's not going to be my number 4. My number 4 is I referenced it enough today that you'd be like, I'm not surprised at all. I will get online and endlessly scroll through TikTok. And my favorite videos is like I won't watch everything. You might get 5 seconds out of me if you don't catch my attention. But I will watch every movie clip, even if it's a movie I haven't seen. Like what was the movie where I think it's Matt Damon as a janitor, but he's like super smart and he solves the math problem? Good Will Hunting. Okay, I've never seen that movie, but I've seen like 15 clips of it in various things on TikTok. And I love watching animals doing weird stuff. Like I just today before the show started, I was watching this compilation of panda bears trying to sit in human chairs. It's so like they sit on the chair and then the chair falls over and they're like confused. And like half of me is like, oh, that poor panda fell, but then the other half is me like, that panda fell. I'm easily amused.
So, I don't know how pandas survive in nature because they are, nature's drunk toddler. I truly don't know.
But they're adorable.
They are incredibly adorable. I also enjoy TikTok. That was a very good selection. I like watching cooking and baking TikTok.
So I sent you the guy, the Don't F It Up guy. He's awesome. Chef Reactions, the guy who makes everything out of chocolate.
I forget his name, but I know who you mean.
He made a Lego minifig, like a life-size minifig out of chocolate. And that point was like, all right, yeah, I'm hooked on you. You're just a robot.
He made a chocolate safe with like working hinges and a working lock with chocolate gold bars.
Yes, I remember that.
In the safe.
Oh, dude. Yeah, so like I will. I mean, when we're done here, I'll go upstairs, eat my lunch of meatballs, and I will just. They call it doom scrolling, but I mean, I need amusement, so that's what I do.
I call it joy scrolling.
There you go. So do
I. My last one is, and anyone who would walk into my house would know it. I love to read. Every room, I have bookcases just filled. The headboard I bought for my bed recently is like doubles as a bookcase. It has shelves with books on it. And just this week, I finished reading Jack McCallum's book about the '92 Dream Team. And I've since moved on to a biography of Warren Zevon. So I'm always reading.
I had my challenge with reading was born upon by my father, who I used to love mysteries. And he gave me this anthology of Sherlock Holmes, which was like
I had that too growing up.
And my idiocy thought, like, I'm going to solve this before he does. And I would read every sentence 27 times looking for this clue that wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And like I became a very slow and methodical reader. And because of that, I was always like super intimidated by how much book I have left. And the choose your own adventure books kind of like they fixed that for me because like, all right, if you choose to do this, go to page 6. If you choose to do that, go to page 86. So like I could be in the middle of the book and feel like I had made some progress. I tried on a Kindle type thing. I have books on Kindle that I will get intimidated by the percentage I have left. Like, oh, you have 98% left. I'm like, oh, I'm never going to finish this. There was one book that was written by, it wasn't Jason Varitek, but it was a Boston Red Sox catcher. And I don't remember the name of the book. if you look up Boston Red Sox catcher book, it doesn't show up for some reason. I really think like the 2020 timeline skew, like I still have memories of this, but it doesn't exist. But like this catcher wrote a book about the perspective of the game from him. And like he would talk about like, this is how you talk to umpires. This is, when the batter comes up, who could you have a conversation with and like what was allowed and what wasn't allowed. And I started seeing that in games. I was like, wow, this is like a really cool insight of the game. But damn it, if the book doesn't really exist. And it's not in my Kindle history either, which really makes me wonder about where we are in this multiverse.
See, and that's another thing. I've had people suggest like e-readers, like Nooks or
you're a hardcore. You need the book
whatever.
In your hand.
I need like the sensory experience. I need the smell of the pages, and I need to.
Are you a paper smeller?
Like the book in my hand.
Are you a paper smeller?
Oh yeah.
That's one thing.
I don't trust a non-paper smeller. How about that?
Like whenever I get a new board game and you open it up, like there's the board game smell, and I'll go like too weirder for you. If I'm ever at my dad's house and like you open up a book of his from like the 1950s, I like the old smell to it. Like the musty, been in an attic for 20 years. Like I don't know, if that's weird?
Smells like communism.
It smells like old. I like that.
Oh, my lists, by the way, were on my PP.
Oh, that's good. That's
back to.
Did you pay your bill?
Unopened, baby.
That's my number 5. I like to pay bills. No, like I mentioned, trying to make this baseball card game, but I design board games too. So aside from playing them, we're in the middle of making a football game. So I actually, when we're done here, I have to kind of reconfigurate the playoff system. So that'll be my job for today. Between that and working the nonprofit video game clubs, there's a book I have to check on. So a little bit of reading, a little bit of game design, but doing this list kind of made me realize how boring I am now outside of this show. Like I don't do much.
So 2 things quick. First, I had the same experience where I got through like 3 things and I was like, I like bagels. Can I talk about that? And the second thing, can I just real quick rewind? Can I get a definition on confarculate?
How did I use it? Use it in a sentence.
You and your dad are coming up with a football game that you're trying to confarculate?
Well, that's like, think about and create, like from your mind, make into real.
Okay, I'll allow it.
I don't know where I heard it it's like a Homer Simpson word, I think. I don't think I invented it. I take no credit for it, but I mean, if I'm the only one who uses it, then
I thought you made that up in the moment, like just being silly.
Oh no, I use that word in school all the time. Try to confuse the kids, keep them on their toes.
Well, that's the point of education, confusing.
I tried to. I try my best at least. So, there we go. That's a look inside the psyche of 2 people who named their podcast Soup and Meatballs, I guess. And a look into the psyche of someone who is referred to fondly as Mr. Smarty Pants. So we're at that point. You going to practice, little girl?
Yeah.
Come here, give me a hug. Give the world a hug. Okay. It's Mamma Mia time here in Chambersburg. So this Friday.
Here we go
this
again.
Friday, it's we go live at Cam's North Auditorium. You can see Maria be a flower girl. You can see Derek in the pit. I made the program, so you can appreciate that.
And I'm also in the end.
Oh, she's at the end.
Queen.
Dancing Queen right there.
Oh, that's
Get any better?
exciting.
So I mean,
I don't think so. I would totally.
I've
see
sent
that
you
show.
pictures of the set that we bought from Southern Columbia High School.
It's your Marie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Southern Columbia. They provided a tremendous set. Building it was arduous. I don't know how we did it. Well, I know how they did it.
I
Guy
heard,
came down and helped us.
I heard Jen's voice. How did she like the risotto?
So I mean, that was
Love it.
It was a win for me right there.
That is a husband win. Some surprise.
They are off to practice. I'll see them in a couple hours, so I'll watch some kind of movie while I'm fixing my football game's playoffs. But Mr. Smarty Pants time, and I'll be honest, I don't have a really good Mr. Smarty Pants for you. It's definitely me taking weeks off and slacking. I forgot, the toughness it is to find a trivia question that isn't like, which football stadium is called the Big House?
I have a trivia question for you if you'd like before we get to your question.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
So I stole this from ESPN, full disclosure. Which...
Oh, hang on. Timeout. So it's my dad. Hey, Dad, what's up? I am, and you're on the show right now. Well, kinda. I don't have you on speakerphone, but no problem. Give me a call when you get home. We'll be done by then. Maybe. Be safe. Will do. So my dad is driving home. He's in Jim Thorpe right now, so he's got about 35 to 40 minutes. If we go another 45 minutes, then he'll just call again. It'll be fine.
There you go.
So stole the question from ESPN.
Yes.
No problem. I stole mine from Instagram.
Which quarterback who is currently eligible for the Hall of Fame? So they've been retired the
At least 6 years.
Proper amount of time. Has the most playoff wins?
The most playoff wins?
Yes.
So Tom Brady is not eligible for the Hall of Fame yet.
Right.
So it's not like he would be my first guess. I mean, the whole 10 Super Bowl thing. I don't know if Peyton Manning is eligible.
He would. Isn't he in?
I don't know. I don't know when he retired in relation to Brady. So he has a bunch, but so is he not? Is this guy eligible for the Hall of Fame? He's not in the Hall of Fame. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Someone who's not in the Hall of Fame.
Like Terry Bradshaw, who would be like another guess of mine for all the Super Bowls.
Right.
Is in the Hall of Fame, so he's not in. Okay.
Yeah. So a non-Hall of Fame quarterback who's eligible with the most playoff wins.
Ben Roethlisberger?
He's not. That's a good guess. He's technically not eligible yet.
Okay, I'm trying to guess from that era. I don't know when these guys retired. I don't think it would be him. I don't think Kurt Warner played. Kurt Warner?
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, he's in the Hall of Fame. Okay, I don't think he would have qualified. I don't think he has that many playoff wins.
Would you like to know how many wins this quarterback has?
I don't think it's going to help. I don't think it's going to matter. Sure.
10.
10. Like now my head is just filled with Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Joe Flacco. And I'm like, no, and no.
Like I'll give you, I not to brag, maybe brag a little, but I did get this right.
Well, you're Mr. Smarty Pants. What do you want?
But one of the first people I thought of before I arrived at the right answer was someone like Steve McNair, who was on really good teams, went to a Super Bowl, but not a Hall of Fame type guy. Or like Jim Plunkett, who won 2 Super Bowls. What's that?
Chad Pennington?
Yeah, it is not Chad Pennington.
Shocking. Give me his team, because this is me giving up here. What team is he noted for playing for?
He is a Philadelphia Eagle.
McNabb.
It's McNabb.
Okay.
Yeah, all the like NFC Championship runs. And
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I mean he's not going to be, but yeah, Donovan McNabb, 10 playoff wins.
Excellent, very, very good. I could have sat here for another till my dad got home from Jim Thorpe. not pulling that out. So I have a question and a list, and they're 2 different sports. So we're going to give you the baseball question, and this is courtesy of somebody on Instagram. So I didn't fact check it. I'm just blindly believing them.
Okay.
And I feel if I'm going to give you a percentage, I'm going to give you an 85% chance of getting this right.
Oh, Okay.
Maybe even a 90% chance. I feel good about this one, so no pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
Who is the only pitcher to win 7 consecutive World Series starts?
The only pitcher to win 7 consecutive World Series starts. Boy, that could go a couple ways.
Well, it really only went one way according to the picture because he was the only one.
Is it someone like Andy Pettitte?
It is not Andy Pettitte. Although with 19 wins, I guess that's not a terrible guess.
Now I'm wondering if you're asking me this because it's a Red Sox. Is it Schilling?
It is not Kurt Schilling. Although I met Kurt Schilling at WBC. I told you this.
Hell of a guy.
Raspy voice, but whatever.
How about is it going back a ways? Someone like Whitey Ford?
It's going back a ways, but I think more recent than Whitey Ford. I don't think it's going back that far a ways. I will tell you, according to the Instagram, that each one of these starts happened to be a complete game, if that helps.
Oh, Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson, there you go. The other clue would have been like when you said Red Sox, I would have said nah, but there is red involved.
Yeah, that makes sense though because between 67 and 68.
So that's the question. So now for the list, I forget where this was a TikTok video because if you haven't heard by now, I like to watch TikTok. The list was to name every player in NBA history to both lead the league in rebounding and to also make the NBA Finals in the same season. So led the league in rebounding on a team that made the NBA Finals.
Okay, Rodman.
Rodman is on the list. No, and I'll tell you, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 9 people on the list.
How about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar not on the list.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell on the list.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain on the list.
Wes Unseld.
Wes Unseld on the list.
All right, so that's 4.
It's funny, like I have this list chronologically. Russell, Chamberlain, Unseld were like bing, bing, bing right next to each other.
Yeah.
So if you're working that route, you're doing well.
How about someone like Dave Cowens?
Dave Cowens not on the list.
Moses Malone.
Moses Malone on the list.
How about Shaq?
Shaq not on the list. You have 4 to go.
4 to go. I don't think Olajuwon ever led the league in rebounding, but I'll guess Olajuwon in like 94 or 95.
Olajuwon did not make the list.
Bill Walton in 77.
I was going to say, I will tell you that one of them is kind of between Unseld and Malone chronologically. That, in fact, is Bill Walton.
Okay.
You're missing one pre-Bill Russell.
Mike.
And then George Mikan, there you go. And then you're missing 2 post Dennis Rodman.
How about Ben Wallace?
That's a good guess. Not on the list. One of them, he was definitely not famous for being on the team that made the finals when he made the finals. He made his name out west, but he made the finals in the East.
Made his name out west, but made the finals in the East. All right, before I guess that one, how about Garnett?
Kevin Garnett not on the list.
Okay. How about Duncan?
Not Duncan. I would venture to say that both of these players, their teams made the NBA Finals. They did not win the NBA Finals.
Okay. Let's try to speed this up. Give me their alma maters, if you know them.
Let me see. Oh, one of them I know. One of them went to Georgetown.
Morning.
Nope. And the other one,
Dikembe Mutombo.
Dikembe Mutombo with the 76ers and the Nets.
Yeah, no one. Okay.
Not known for his time there. The other individual, before he was in the NBA, he was drafted out of Southwest Atlanta Christian Academy. Did not go to college.
Cool. Southwest. Did not go to college. Dwight Howard?
Dwight Howard. There you go. I definitely had to look that up because
yeah, straight out of high school. Yeah.
I had no. I didn't think he went to college, and once I typed in Mutombo college, it's like, oh no, I remember because he was there with Morning.
He was part of that run of like Ewing, Mutombo, Morning. Yeah.
So,
I'll take that performance.
That's about as good as it gets, I think.
Yeah, I did better with the old timers, but that's to be expected because I'm an old man.
Sure. And I'll tell you what, to close this out today, I'm gonna do the. Come on, I want to. We're gonna share our screen. We're gonna do the Wheel of Destiny. Can you see it?
I sure can.
I love these things. There's another thing I see on TikTok because, again, if you don't know, I like to watch it a lot. So we have the NFL. So we're going to draft a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end, and one defensive player.
Okay.
This is all time. So,
And it's they only had to have played even like briefly for the team, and I get their entire career.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I had the first pick in the Soup and Meatball draft. I will allow you to pick first here. Here is your first spin. So your first team, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defensive player. It looks like it's going to fall on the Detroit Lions.
I'll take Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson. All right, so you have your wide receiver. So I cannot take Calvin Johnson. My first pick. Oh, stop. Oh, goodness. The New York Jets. Geez. I should take Marvin Jones, but I'm not going to. I will take a very underrated running back. I'll take Curtis Martin.
I thought you might have gone Rodgers.
Heck with Rodgers.
Anti-vax nonsense.
Oh, geez. Look at this. You took your wide receiver, though, so.
Yeah, I did.
There's a lot of good options here.
So what is it? I need a quarterback, a running
back, a tight end, and a defensive player.
I'll take John Randall.
John Randall, nice. I like John Randall.
Me too.
You got your defensive player. I'm gonna get like the Bengals now. Oh no, this makes life easy. Okay. We'll just slowly and gently pencil in Tom Brady to play quarterback for us.
Fair enough.
So, Tim, you need a quarterback, a running back, and a tight end. I think I just made a mistake, but that's we'll deal with that. Oh, you get the Bengals. No, you get the Bears.
I'll take Peyton.
Walter Payton. So, I love Peyton going 3. I need a wide receiver, tight end, and a defense. It looks like I got Minnesota. And I will just coyly type in Randy Moss. That's easy. So Brady and Moss back together again.
Reunited. Reunited for the
whatever
Red Clay Strays.
fancy schmancy team I've got. So Washington, either the football team, Commanders, Redskins, whatever you want to call them, all time, you need a quarterback and a tight end.
Oh, woof. Well,
I don't know where I would go with this.
I'm not
sure they got a
taking
good
like
tight end.
Sammy Baugh or Sonny Jurgensen. Give me Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz at tight end. Did he play for them?
He plays for them currently.
Oh, cool. There you go. That's the mistake I made with the Patriots. I think I should have taken Gronk at tight end.
Yeah, I'm glad I took Calvin Johnson instead of Barry because it let me get Peyton.
Yeah, but I'll take Travis Kelce at tight end. And luck out there, I think. So your final spin, you need a quarterback. Who's the quarterback of the Bay City Rollers here going to be? Oh, you missed out on Elway. Who's the Detroit quarterback that you like?
It's either going to be Bobby Lane or Matthew Stafford.
I don't even know how this is a choice. Bobby Lane?
He's a Hall of Famer and a multiple-time champion, but I'll take Stafford.
I think that was my first guess, either Stafford or like John Mitchell maybe, but or Scott Mitchell, not John Mitchell.
Yeah, one of
the worst free agent signings ever.
Yeah, he put up stats with the Lions and little else.
And I need a defensive player, and I'll tell you what, he almost made my list of favorite non-Bears. I'm not drafting him, but like Vince Wilfork is cool. I'm going to take Ty Law to play corner.
Yeah,
but I wish I could take like Belichick to coach the defense. So here we go.
I thought you might take Willie McGinnis, but Ty Law's the pick.
Ty Law was he was the first pick in my head. But if I had to think about it, McGinnis up there, Brewski was really good. Wilfork just because he took up 7 people on the line.
Yeah. Oh, he's a guy who absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame. Vince Wilfork.
There it is.
I think you got me there between you got much better quarterback, much better tight end.
I think your running back over mine. The wide receivers, I think, are a wash. I was surprised when you got the Lions first. I was surprised they didn't go Barry Sanders, and then when you got the Vikings second, I was surprised they didn't go Adrian Peterson.
You know, I figured there were going to be enough running backs and wide receivers that, for me, Calvin Johnson's a top 3 receiver of all time, top 4. Barry's a top 3, top 4. I just kind of rolled the dice.
I think when you do something like this, when you see like a New England or a Tampa Bay or a San Diego, like when you can get a tight end, I think you have to grab one.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you get the Cincinnati Bengals and you wonder, like, did they ever have a tight end?
I mean, of the teams I got, the only tight end I might have taken other than Ertz for Washington is Ditka for Chicago.
The Bears, which, I mean, would you rather Ditka or Peyton?
Exactly. So
that's a no-brainer pick. So, well, we're at that time of the show. We almost hit 3 hours, and I went to the bathroom right before the show started, but I'm sure we're at that point now where the bladder's like, hey, guys, it's time to call it a show.
Absolutely.
There you go. But it was good to get back at this, and those of you who missed us, we'll be back in better than ever next week or the week after. So the Mamma Mia is next Saturday. So I don't know what Sunday morning will hold in terms of set deconstruction or something like that. So we might be live Saturday. We'll see. But Tim, it was good talking to you.
Yeah, big Soup and Meatballs weekend between in-person lunch and getting back to the podcast. I like it.
Amazing. Good stuff. So those of you out in the interwebs, however you're watching, thanks for watching, and